up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid
I'm
hot.
fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, what up, though, people, man? Thank you guys for choosing to kick off your day with the WUW Crew's Wake Up Woodward. Man, I'm telling you guys, if you had that $24.99 access, all access pass to see what goes on before the show, what goes on in the breaks, man, it's epic. Hopefully we can bring just as much to the show today. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack. It's your boy Brandon Dan, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer for the network. What a gut punch, Flannel Sam. All sports knower, Red Wings correspondent, the vet of the network, brother. And I see it, the red, white, and blue flannel. And you got the Michigan pants on.
I do.
You were in complete solidarity mode this morning.
Yes. And it was a gut punch for one team and a triumph for another. So
Yes,
at least we have the Red Wings last night. But we're going to get more into the Pistons later. That one, that hurt. It hurt.
Oh,
That's
man.
all right. It's all right. It's still better, but that one hurt.
You know what? Shout out to our brother, Matthew Broder. That dude, Justin. KG is on the way. In the sound booth, though. Mr. Fundamentals himself, Kavasi Chase.
Your mic's not up.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, what's up, everybody?
Those favor Tim Duncan. No. What?
Hey, Tim Duncan.
Mr.
He's underrated.
Fundamentals over there.
No, but what's up, everybody? The Pistons might have lost, but the Red Wings got a nice overtime win. So, after we dive into the Pistons, hopefully we can talk a little bit more of the Wings and, have a little bit of like both sides of a Thursday on like the victories.
No, it's Wings in the first segment right now. Like after we introduce everybody, we jumping right into the Wings, and I'm excited because this is a platform where I want to see Flannel, and I know he's going to absolutely crush it, but just grow in this regard. And there's a lot of good hockey talk with the WUW Crew, as well as the stuff that Darren McCarty in between the shows discusses with us. I'm excited for this. I am really excited for this, and we always wanted to make sure this show was one that brought as well a credential beat focus to this, and so it's exciting, man. Like I'm happy for you, brother.
Thank you.
Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. It is JB Smooth. What up, though, brother?
Kool-Aid, you're going to have to explain this to me, man.
What up, though, man?
On another overtime that we got to go to, and we can't pull this one out. Like, Giannis was the only player on this team that was doing anything.
Brooke Lopez, JB, come on.
No,
Notorious
I don't even look at
He
Brooke
will kill-
Lopez. He
What?
damn near had 60 points, man. Come on.
But that's Giannis, and I'm sorry, he outshot. He had way more attempts than the entire Pistons team in terms of free throws. We talk about the ones we want to see them make, and we're gonna talk about it. But I'm sorry. There's so much that happens in a game. I'm not just putting it on those misses. Take away 2 free throws away from Giannis. How about that?
It was a very complicated
17
game.
free
It was a
throws for
complicated
Giannis
game.
to 13 for the Pistons. Meanwhile, Cade's face is beaten and bruised like he just got into a fist fight with freaking Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah, and trust me, the anti-Cade folks are back in droves. But
we
that's
gotta talk
another
to
story
Red
for
Wings,
another
bro.
hour. Yeah, let's lighten the mood.
Let's not talk about that right now.
Because the reason why it's so passionate as we transition to the Red Wings, and I get it, it's because we see something a little bit different in this team now. We're like, whoa. These fools should be over 500. Free throws directly have cost them 2 games. Maybe 3, as you talked about. So from that standpoint, as a whole, free throw. I'm talking about not we played tough and we lost. I mean, you guys are up 10 with like 2 minutes ago, 3 or 4 of these losses. So that's where I think the passion comes from. And then you got the Red Wings, who they're trying to, after a little bit of a sluggish start, really look like the squad that a lot of us believe that they could be. And they got a big win last night.
They did, and they still don't look like that squad.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. But last night you got your saving graces throughout the season came through because in a lot of ways, the Red Wings have not played up to their potential this year, particularly offensively. More on that in a second. But where they have shined and where they have, in a lot of ways, saved their season from cratering is one, Cam Talbot has been absolutely immaculate. He did it again. 5th in the NHL in save percentage. Still has, in a lot of ways. Yes, absolutely. In a lot of ways, he's carried this team. The Red Wings are 5-2-1 when he has started. He saved 31 shots on 33 attempts last night for a .939 save percentage. The man has gotten the Red Wings some wins in games that they had no business winning. Last night was not one of them, by the way, but early on in the season, he certainly has saved him a couple of times, and he was absolutely fantastic last night. And another one is the power play. The power play got off to a slow start, but now it's 7th in the NHL, and you saw in the second period, after Jonathan Bergeron gave them a lead for his first goal of the season, by the way, you saw Patrick Kane, and with a beautiful power play goal assisted by Larkin and Raymond. That's what you love to see. You love to see those three guys on the power play put one in the back of the net, and ultimately they held on after blowing that lead, and then Simon Edvinsson got them the game winner, which is awesome seeing him out there on 3-on-3 and overtimes. He is having himself a hell of a season, and he's adding an offensive element to his game along with his stellar defense. There's still some issues. The offense is still not good. Other than the power play, 5-on-5, they're absolutely terrible still, and I hate to say it. They're bottom 5 in the NHL in scoring, which is something I never foresaw. But, they're 7-1, so hopefully their offense can pick it back up. What they really need, I'd like to see more goals from Lucas Raymond, although he's leading the team in points. But you know what I think could be a really interesting way in which they could really supercharge this offense? And you saw it last night. That third line is really, really intriguing. When you got Tarasenko and you got Kasper and you have Jonathan Bergeron out there, it's really intriguing. Bergeron and Kasper is obviously one of the most hyped prospects. Bergeron's a guy who Steve Yzerman put his faith in, and Tarasenko was one of the biggest offseason signings. And they've looked fine offensively at points, but they're just not scoring. They're not scoring at all. Marco Kasper is yet to have a goal, 1 point in 11 games, which he's a rookie, his first ever real experience. I'm not going to kill him for it. You got Tarasenko, 4 points in 14 games, not really what we signed him for. Bergeron just had his first goal of the season last night, but he did have his first goal of the season last night, and I have faith that they are going to put more pucks into the back of the net because their offense hasn't been terrible. Yeah. They just haven't been coming through quite yet.
It has to rise to me.
Yeah.
It has to, and that's where I'm a little bit more confident. I know they right now sit just outside the wild card. I'm not really too concerned with that this early in the season. I'm glad that both of these teams, the Pistons, are still in the play-in right now. They've shot themselves on the foot with Flannel's big musket all this early this season.
Damn.
But shout out to Tammy Chin. I see you. She said, morning, Kool-Aid, JB, KG. We also got Chase in the building as well. Cavassier Chase now. It's good to see our chat MVP in here. But what up, though, Cavassier Chase?
Hey, what up, though? Yeah, I mean, Sam was talking about, that line with Bergeron, Kasper, and Tarasenko was looking really good last night. They got the first goal to kick it off. I thought offensively the Red Wings came out firing in the first period and played really well. Even in the first half of that second period, when they took a 2-goal lead. Afterwards, though, like they say, 2-goal lead is the most dangerous lead in hockey. They played like it. They didn't have a lot of urgency. They kind of just played like on their heels a little bit, and it kind of cost them coming back into the game. But I kind of forgot where I was going with that. Sorry.
No. I was gonna say you have some you got some support for that notion. Two Hand Hutch says the Wings need to keep attacking the net like they did last night.
If you want a silver lining, there were way too many games throughout the beginning of the season, and even some games where they won where they were getting badly outshot. And the last couple of games, they've been upping their chances. They've had more opportunities in the offensive end. And then in the game before against the Rangers, Jonathan Quick just kicked your ass. Well, he kind of turned back the clock a little bit.
Speaking of getting outshot too, we were leading the Penguins in shots for a while, but after we took that 2-goal lead in the second half of the second period, I know it was like 12-5 shot advantage for Pittsburgh. Like we were just not working it, getting to the offensive zone at all. And we played a lot of that third period in our defensive zone until about, I think, like the 7-ish minute mark before we really started to push it and realize, we can actually still win this game. We don't have to go try to keep it to overtime. And we didn't get it in there, but it wasn't until like about 7 to go in the third where like they really started to push it offensively.
Yeah.
And look, Cornelius T. I had a question teed up, and I saw his comment right away. It says the Wings are a complete letdown. I don't believe they're a complete letdown. I do believe early in the season there are some things and some kinks that teams have to work out. And this is the thing, where the Pistons and the Red Wings are really hurting themselves is that they look like squads. As we look at right now and the issues they have, they are costing themselves, in my opinion. They could be taking advantage while all the other teams are fumbling and bumbling around, and they're not. They're still in the thick of things, but this is where it leads me. We see with the Pistons instantly that there are some positives there, some growth, and we associate that with J.B. Bickerstaff. The defense is on another level. But with the Red Wings, we've seen Lalonde here for some time now. How much of what's going on right now is going to be at the feet of the coach? Because I'm hearing strategy things.
All right, so here's what I will say, and I'll kind of go back to what Cornelius T. said and circle back. If you would have told me before the season that the Red Wings would be bottom 5 in goals scored per game, I would have said absolute letdown. Their season has cratered at the beginning. But to the credit of, as I said, Cam Talbot mostly and the power play, they have managed to stay afloat. 15 points in 15 games. That's not going to get it done in terms of going to the playoffs, but during a period where they haven't been scoring, which I don't think will continue at this level, they have managed to stay afloat. As far as Lalonde goes, I mean, I do think if it continues like this, he will be the one that falls on the sword. I don't necessarily hate his choices when it comes to lines.
Yeah.
I think, especially in the third line, it hasn't been bad. As I said, they're just not putting the puck in the back of the net. They've actually created more opportunities, I think, than even the second line. Yeah.
What things would you change if you were Lalonde to try and increase this pressure on the net? Because that's the things that I've heard you talk about this morning. I'm like, you know what? We need to add this segment. We're going to have Coach Chase and Coach Flannel, Coach Kool-Aid, and all the rest of the crew when we break these things down across the different sports, because now I am very intrigued at what you guys believe needs to happen, or what you would like to see Lalonde try and do to have the Red Wings get a little bit more pressure on the net to have an opportunity to get a few more goals.
All right, so this is going to be unpopular, and I feel like I'm going to be out on an island.
I'm ready, man.
On an island when it comes to this.
They're right there, bro. I'm ready.
Because I want to blame everything on Lalonde, but when I think of the line choices and even defensively, I don't hate it. I understand that maybe putting Raymond on the second line is a little bit not what we thought was going to happen, but at the same time, the Red Wings have a lot of top-end players. I think the issue this year so far has been more on Stevie. Me personally.
Ooh.
I know, strike me dead now. I
Look at Dave's face.
I know the Steve Bucks.
Look what you walked into, KG.
Are gonna come at me right now. And I'm not saying it's all his fault, but I'm looking at the beginning of the season, especially when it comes to depth scoring. I understand I like having Casper out there and Jonathan Bergeron out there. I don't mind it, but at the same time, I'm looking at it and I'm like, you're kind of missing Sprong, you're kind of missing Perron, and you're kind of missing Robbie Fabry. And I'm not saying that they had to keep all of them or anything like that, or that, oh my God, I'm going to burn everything down because they didn't keep David Perron. However, Vladimir Tarasenko is not showing up yet. I'm not saying he won't. I'm saying that he hasn't yet. Marco Kasper has not 1 point in 11 games. I'm not saying it's the end of the world. He's a very young player who's very promising, but it hasn't happened yet. They held on to Petrie and they held on to Hull. They got rid of Wallman. I'm not saying there aren't factors to that. It's just those to me are some of the reasons. Don't get me wrong. The Cam Talbot signing, absolutely effing phenomenal, at least so far. But I think right now it's more on Stevie.
Man, JB Smooth. Let's get the poll. Stevie, Lalonde, the players. I just want to know who people believe right now is more, hey, where is this thing at the feet at right now? Who needs to strategize, play better, or personnel better right now? I'm really intrigued with this. I see our hockey people, our puck knowers are all in the chat as well. Mike G. Kool-Aid. Don't know if our high-paid wingers have that forecheck mentality. It is what it is. It's not Kane's and DeBrincat and Tarasenko game.
That's fair.
I don't think we have like a kind of adding to what Mike G was saying. I just don't think we have a forward who wants to like go really stick their nose in the mix, get in front of the net, and just like kind of just be a presence. You know, I don't think any of our guys are really have the size and skill combination. Like Larkin gets in front of the net and he gets in the mix a little bit, but you'd love to see someone like Michael Rasmussen really step up and become more of like a net front presence. I would say just kind of grind it up a little bit and just get in front of the net, muck it up, and make it tough for the other goalie.
Man,
no,
is that where the personnel type stuff comes into play?
Well, I mean Rasmussen, if it's going to be a forward who's going to do that, it's going to be Rasmussen because he's a. To put it simply, he's just a big dude and he can play physical, but he's like a third line type player.
Yeah,
I said it last year and I said it in the offseason. This isn't the kiss of death, I promise you.
There's an early runaway favorite for this poll.
There really is. Yeah.
Of course. Alex DeBrincat is soft. Does that mean he's a bad hockey player? No. He's soft. Patrick Kane at this stage, I'm never going to call Patrick Kane soft. He's a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, former MVP. But at this stage, he's not going to offer much defensively. Lucas Raymond has. I will give him all the credit in the world for that. But I've always said DeBrincat was soft, and he has not tempered those views. I'll just say
So
that.
you got Alan W. on your side.
Yeah, read that one off real quick, JB.
Yeah, Alan W. goes on to say, it's 100% on Stevie. We have 2 competent defensemen, and if our goalies don't play perfect, we lose. So, hey, you got somebody on your side.
Can you put up Aaron Tills as well? I think that this is a comment that's kind of on the antithesis of Alan W. as well.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
If you could read that one off. My eyes ain't working this
much. Yzerman has built the...
I can read it off if you...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Yzerman has built the organization for sustained success in the back end of Raven and Sider deals. This team is constructed to place hold for the high-end prospects.
I mean...
Polar opposites, bro.
It's been a long time, I'll just say that. And the rebuttal I will give to that is defensively... I'll keep saying it, Hole and Petrie are here. Everybody else seems to come and go, but Hole and Petrie, because nobody else wants them, are still here. And I'm not saying they've been terrible throughout the season, but I still think they've been a net negative. And
Hole was the reason that they tied up the game last
night. Absolutely. Hole, and we had a nice text from Darren McCarty in the group chat, which I will not repeat, but let's just say he agrees. And and as you've had to get rid of a lot of people who have been contributors. And the young guys, and I'm not saying it's over. Like I said, Casper, I'm not saying he's the highest of the problems, but that's where I kind of go to Tarasenko to where he hasn't showed up. I'd say right now the Talbot signing has been an A, and the Tarasenko signing has been like a C- D+.
We've hardly seen the prospects, though, really have a taste of action in the NHL. That's what we're really waiting on. Like, that's what everybody doesn't understand with this, like, impatience when it comes to Steve Yzerman, is all of the guys who are really going to drastically affect this team haven't put on the Red Wings uniform yet and gotten on the ice for us. Like, this is just the first sips of coffee, seriously, for Edvinsson, for Berggren, and for Casper. It's going to take them some time, but I thought Edvinsson played amazing last night.
He played phenomenal.
I thought he played amazing last night.
And Edvinsson has been phenomenal. It's just, I feel like, at least for me, and I know we've blown past the break, and I'll just end it at this.
It's some good talk, bro. We haven't broke this down like this in a while. This team has an opportunity to make the playoffs. That is what the expectation is. We shouldn't start off the season as if this was, the Tigers of 2 years ago. This squad had the wins, didn't have the points. By like a half of a point, bro, they missed the playoffs. And this year, they were firmly in a spot where it looked like they were ready to take that step into just one of those top 6 spots, not even a wild card. Now they're sitting just on the outside. I appreciate the conversation. Trust me.
Sure. And this is where I want to leave it at. I want more than anything in the world to blame everything on Derek Lalonde, because people just cannot let themselves give Steve Yzerman any criticism. I'm not saying anybody in the room. I'm saying some people in the chat right now, you know who you are. But when I look at it, this is just my opinion. When I look at the way that the players are being used, when I look at the line combinations, I don't necessarily see a whole lot that could be improved, especially defensively, because we talked about the other day, for example, and defensively hasn't even been like their biggest problem this year, but what are you supposed to do? Like, Sherratt and Petrie obviously don't work together well, but there's not a whole lot there right now. Like an Albert Johansson, is he ready? You don't necessarily know. You lost Gostisbehere, you lost Wallman. And offensively, I just think the third line is going to get it together, and they're going to put more pucks in the back of the net. And as far as Kopp and Comfort goes, I don't think they're ideal second-line players, but who signed them? Kopp has been a massive disappointment. I'm not saying Comfort has his entirety, but this year he has so far. So I don't think Lalonde's been perfect, but I also think that the personnel has handcuffed him a tad. I wouldn't be heartbroken if Lalonde gets fired, I promise you, but I'm not going to say that it's all Lalonde and not on Stevie.
I like that approach. Hey, Tammy Chin, our chat MVP. What was she saying there, JB Smooth?
She said Lalonde doesn't have a heartbeat on the bench, and she put that in all caps.
Say it
so
with your chest,
she
JB.
meant that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I look at things a little bit more, and this is maybe where me and Tammy Chin just have like a disagreement. I look at things more analytically. If you want to say he's a squish, I am not going to disagree with you on that.
Have you guys seen Despicable Me?
Oh,
I
yeah.
have not.
Yeah.
Lalonde sometimes reminds me.
vibes.
So Lalonde reminds me sometimes of when Gru first adopts the girls and he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's just kind of like wandering around trying to figure it all out. Like I agree with Tammy. He just sometimes just doesn't seem to like have any type of fire. And like
That's fair.
The
That's
guys
fair.
are like they build off of that. So I mean you have to be able to rally the guys up and William Wallace that shit and get them ready for battle.
That's fair. And again, I keep blowing past this, but I got to read this from Tammy Chin. Sherratt, Petrie, and Hull aren't going anywhere. Stop complaining about it and deal with it. But who signed those guys? Hull and Petrie stink. They're awful. They stink. Everybody would agree with me on that one. Sherratt, I actually thought he was good last year. I thought he was a net positive. But this year, when you pair him with Petrie, it has not been well. My point is that Steve Yzerman has made a lot of signings that have not worked. And defensively, I don't even think it's their biggest problem so far, but I don't think they did enough in the offseason. I think this can all be alleviated if some of their young, promising players, particularly offensively, puts more pucks in the back of the net. And I think we'll all kumbaya and be fine. And if Tarasenko puts more pucks into the back of the net, and if the top players keep playing at their level. I get it. Lucas Raymond, you'd like more goals.
I'm not worried about him.
Like Dylan Larkin, you'd like more assists, but at the same
Not worried
time,
about
I
him.
think that's kind of small potatoes at this point.
I am not worried about those guys at all. But you know what? 13, as you were talking, it went from like 11 to 12 to 13%
Whoa.
for Stevie Y,
Whoa.
bro. That was actually
wow.
pretty wild.
That's actually
swayed him.
14% now. What are you doing, Flannel?
Well,
Swayed him.
3% rise.
I blew
You should
past
be a
this one.
politician.
You know what? Before I'm gonna save this from myself because I've been kind of addicted to this hockey talk, and we're gonna go to break. Planet Fitness,
Lions, baby, on
where
the way.
your fitness is essential. And I'll tell you what, they got 50 Metro Detroit locations. You can get in shape for the cheap. If you're feeling like you need to lose a little weight before the holiday season so you can pack it back on, go to Planet
That's the
Fitness.
plan.
If you're trying to just get in shape and say like holiday season be damned, go to Planet Fitness.
Beach bots.
If you want just the same amount of weights but cheaper and you're on a budget, go to Planet Fitness. Why wouldn't you go to Planet Fitness? And you can, even if you are feeling a little, like investing in yourself a little bit more, they've even got the Black Card membership where you can go anywhere you want. So if you're traveling for Thanksgiving or Christmas, there are no excuses. You can go to any of those Planet Fitnesses.
None.
It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. With 10 plus years of experience and 24/7 availability, scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
KDK Law, they got your back. Wake up, Woodward. Woodward Sports has yours and chat family. As always, you guys are the most important part of the WUW Crew, so I hope that you guys have our backs. Let's run up those likes. Run up the likes today. We're about to get into some Lions talk for a few segments here. What's on the docket right now? Who's been the more valuable coordinator this season, Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn? So start to get your thoughts into the chat. If it's, both of those guys, I just want to hear what you guys believe. Then we also are going to talk some Tigers,
Yes.
man.
Scott Harris spoke. And you guys said that you wanted us to talk about it.
Oh.
I am
speak, huh?
I am excited. I'm excited to talk about that. But yes.
Are you excited about the platoon?
I am not. But
We're going to talk about
more on that later. But first, we've got to satiate the thirst for Lions. And I don't blame any of you guys because they are 8-1. They are Super Bowl favorites. And
Juggernauts.
one of the great problems to have, and I've asked this question in passing, but I really thought it would be fun to break down with the crew today, is who has been the more valuable coordinator this year, Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn? And I'll start with this one. I think it's Aaron Glenn with bells on. And it's funny because this in no way, shape, or form is trying to diminish Ben Johnson. It's just that the offense has always been there. I'd say this season, at least in terms of points per game, they're second, where the previous 2 years they were 5th and 5th respectively, so they've shown some improvement. But defensively is really where the Lions needed to take that leap, and they did. I didn't think that they could have a top 10 scoring defense in the NFL. They do. And that's despite missing Aiden Hutchinson for four games. They are 8th. They are allowing less than 20 points per game, which is absolutely phenomenal. And it's about the leap that they've taken, because last season and the year before, the defense is what cost them a lot of the times. Because last year they were 23rd in points allowed per game, and the previous year they were 28th. And this year, as I said, they are 8th, which is top 10, 19 points per game. And when you look at this season as a whole, the first 3 games, the offense did not really come to play. I'm going to read you a list of some performances the offense gave that the Lions won. 20 points in regulation, 20 points, 17 offensive points, through 5 interceptions. The Lions won all of those games. I'm talking the Rams game, which they won in overtime, the game at Arizona that they won, the game at Green Bay where they won, where Kirby Joseph got a pick 6, which was really the play of the game. And of course, I'm talking about the game at Houston. If the defense doesn't make that improvement, this is probably a 3 or 4 loss team at this point that's fighting for the division. But the defense has really been what has what has carried the way a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. And especially in 2 games specifically, the Green Bay game and the Houston game, without Aiden Hutchinson. It really has been no Hutch, no problem. And you haven't even had Zadarius Smith in there yet. And I just look at a lot of the improvements that have been made. Jack Campbell's taken a leap. Brian Branch has taken a leap into superstardom. The same with Kirby Joseph. Ali McNeil, Levi Onwuzurike. I even have to give a lot of credit to a guy like Carlton Davis, because Carlton Davis, quiet as kept, did not have a good year last year. It was probably the worst of his career. He allowed way too many big plays, a very high passer rating when targeted. But this season, he had some struggles at the beginning, but right at about the time when Aleem McNeil really started breaking out with his pressures and sacks and quarterback hits, that's when Carlton Davis has really shined as well. Since about week 5, Carlton Davis has played like a Pro Bowl level corner. And if you wanted to look at the greatest microcosm, do the Lions win at Houston if Carlton Davis doesn't do what he does? No chance. Carlton Davis, that play that he made when it looked like Tank Dell was standing in the end zone all alone, it was like a flash of lightning. He must have ran faster than he ever did in his life. And I get it. C.J. Stroud was a little lackadaisical. I get that. But Carlton Davis made that play. So the point is that Aaron Glenn, to me, has been the more valuable coordinator this season. And it's a great problem to have because they're 2 of the best coordinators in all of the NFL.
Yeah, definitely. And you talk about the improvements that the offense did make. So it's like I don't want to overlook Ben Johnson right now. And having to adjust to new personnel. I believe that when you find yourself in a position where you have that, it's where I find myself in a position where I'm like, you know what? I'm looking at both of these guys as probably being a tie. Aaron Glenn has had this defense humming the entire time. He got that personnel. He lost Hutch, though, and that is huge. That, to me, is where it probably starts to tip the scales more in his direction, because who knew that they would be able to have this type of success still without Aiden freaking Hutchinson? I did believe, though, they were still going to be a pretty good defense, and part of that is because of the schemes that we saw Aaron Glenn, employ last year that got a lot out of a little. This was still a team last year, and it was one of the refrains that I was stating. I know KG was on a couple of these shows, doing shows where it was like, look, the Lions legitimately give up 20 points plus or minus 3 every game. That's what you know this Lions team is going to do. And the times where it was like they're giving up that 23 or 24 points is where the offense really didn't do its thing. And so now you're talking about adding a much better secondary to a team that the Achilles heel was this. Yeah, we can keep you within the 20s. We know we're going to shut you down in the red zone. But how many red zone attempts are we going to give up? How many big plays to wide receivers are we going to give up? Solving that this year with Aaron Glenn has been really the thing that's kind of floated this defense now we're seeing the entire year, bolstered by those all-pro. That's what I'm going to call them. Those all-pro safeties.
If the season ended today, they'd be all-pro.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like the best safeties in the league. You got rookie Terrion Arnold playing big minutes and getting targeted often. Because who's going to really say, you know what? Well, let's just try and pick on Carlton Davis. But when you talk about something here with Carlton Davis, his interception looked a lot like the ones that we saw. Because do we consider that one another touchdown takeaway? That happened in the end zone, right? One of Carlton Davis's interceptions.
Dude, yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
And I'm setting it up.
Yeah.
Like, I know it was, but I'm just saying it's another one in the end zone. This is insane.
Save the damn game.
That's what I'm saying. But think about this. Tell me that these safeties and these players don't look in just really good shape as well. And that's what I was getting at too. Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, these guys have been able to charge forward and also get back with the quickness to manipulate a quarterback and get an interception in the end zone. We've seen this now how many times? 5, 6, 7 times this season? 6 times?
Yeah,
That's
6.
Crazy.
That is insane.
That's insane.
Those are game-saving type of plays. And for the record, because there's a few people in the chat that are upset with me, want a victory lap, yada, 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 I understand. I'm not saying Ben Johnson's been bad. It's just with not even close to saying Ben Johnson's been bad. Ben Johnson is the best offensive coordinator in the NFL, but this year, Aaron Glenn is the best defensive coordinator in the NFL. It's a phenomenal problem to have. I mean, a phenomenal problem. And with the offense, I hate to say that they're almost being punished in this discussion because they've been good already before, but it's the defense that's really needed to take a leap. And the offense, they've had games like the Seattle game, for example, and the Cowboy game and the Viking game where they have been humming on all cylinders. They've also had games where they have not been. in any way, shape, or form. First 3 games, not humming on all cylinders. They throw 5 picks in another one, and in the game at Green Bay, they're limited because it's just such a poor field, but they only scored 17 points. Not really their fault, but like they did what they had to do. But the defense, Kirby Joseph got the pick 6 in that one. And to read one more comment, this is from Thomas. Sam, Davis struggled last year because he was playing in his zone defense as a man coverage corner. And there is a lot of merit to that, but that goes back to coaching. That goes back to him being misused at the end of his time in Tampa Bay and being properly used in Detroit, because he has been on a heater.
Yeah, and I do want to kind of bring this up in the conversation as well, because I do believe that Aaron Glenn deserves all the flowers in the world. But Ben Johnson,
yeah,
the offense, he has some weapons on that offense. They haven't necessarily, like Sam Laporta hasn't been the Sam Laporta we saw last year. Obviously, J-Mo has started the season good. Then we got the inconsistent game with the Cowboys, and then he missed 2 games as well. And then one thing that we do know is this, and we've heard Jared Goff put this out there, and we've heard now Dan Campbell talk about it. They're facing much different looks than they faced before. So now you got the mad genius, Ben Johnson, who still has the number 2 offense in the league, while you have every team lining up at their peak, at these moments where they're like, you know what, we're ready to knock off the Detroit Lions, and they're scheming up some things. That's why I am wondering, in terms of the battle, or the uphill battle that Ben Johnson faces. I do believe he's facing maybe a slightly different one than Aaron Glenn, based on the types of schemes that he's going to see night on basis.
Sure, and Ben Johnson has thrived as well.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
that's what we're
don't
talking
get me
about.
wrong. Yeah,
And
and
2 top 10 coordinators.
And Rando Smalls, man. Why are you so mad, bro? You are very, very angry in the chat, putting a lot of vitriol at me. Just let me just tuck you in, give you a nice kiss on the forehead, and you can calm down. Because what have I said? What have I said that is so out of line, bro? If you want me to give you credit for being more of the next man up guy and the defense playing better without Hutch and before Zadarius Smith than I thought, I will give that to you. I will give you a nice little pat on the head and a kiss on the cheek, if that's what you would like. But dude, what the F is wrong with you, man?
Do you know why I believe, though, if we go back and rewind the tapes, you know why I believe that they could have gone undefeated without Hutch? It's because of the schemes. I'm not saying that the defense is going to be as nasty, but what we saw Aaron Glenn do, just to reiterate, last year was where I'm like, yo, halfway through the season, we say, if you're not going to change the personnel, then I believe it's your organization telling you, change up your scheme. And when the scheme changed is when I realized bro has literally like Jerry Jacobs and Kendall Vildor in some like playing heavy minutes, because what else did they have? You know what I mean? And this Lions team looked like one of the best teams in all of the NFL. When you go and you also make sure that you bolster that, because I want to make sure that people like, I was about to say KG again, Kelvin Shepard and Terrell Williams and others get their just due, shine, because they're part of that defense as well. Aaron Glenn, though, as the ultimate leader and as the guy that a lot of these players around the NFL has looked up to and said, yo, I would love to play for him. I'm glad to see him having this type of success this year. Is putting it all together. And the one thing where it's just this one kind of sad note is, and our social team put this out there, Aiden Hutchinson is still a top 5 in sacks, I believe.
I know.
Imagine if he could have all of his toys.
I know. It absolutely breaks my heart. And Rando, tell me in the chat what I said that was so egregious. Tell me what I said that was so egregious. I am giving effusive praise to Aaron Glenn, and you just don't want to hear it. You have a mental disorder.
You know what I think
With all
would be
due
great
respect,
content?
Rando Smalls, you have a mental disorder, and it's called flannel derangement syndrome. It sucks. I know it afflicts many of you, but Rando, bro, if I told you I liked puppies, would you get rid of your puppy? Yes.
You know what?
Tell me what I said that was wrong, bro.
I think, you know what? Flannel and Randall Smalls at a bar would be great
Oh,
content.
no. I'm not going to a bar with that motherfucker. Sorry. I've been on record, and I stand by this. I am if I would have known who you actually were,
Oh, man.
when you would have extended your hand to me, I would have done this. I would have done that. Smacked it. Smacked it.
Jamie Spoon, Boomer Sports.
Smacked it.
You got to talk to me about Aaron Glenn.
I'm not changed.
Ben Johnson.
Clearly. He's back. He's back.
Oh, my gosh.
Let me try to contain myself here with this one, man.
Hold on. Tell me about your hoodie real quick. I'm sorry. I just saw that. I'm like, wait a second, JB. You always got the drip. You got to tell me about the hoodie really quickly. Then talk to me about Eric Glenn again.
Well, once again, it's, assholes live forever. But just putting out a little positive message to everyone out there, male and female, depending on what it is. But you know what? I got to. You know what? Life's short. Be a slut.
I'm not mad at that.
What up, though, KG? But talk to me, JB Smooth. Aaron Glenn, man, he's been on a heater, man. I know the offense, it needed a little bit of time to get going, but when it got going, it was absolutely 30 points a game week after week after week, man. Which coordinator to you is the best so far?
Honestly, if you would have asked me this probably last season, I'm going to go with Ben Johnson. But Flannel, you're swaying me on this right now. I think it's Aaron Glenn. Just a simple fact that you lost Aiden Hutchinson week 5. He still is at the top of the sack leaderboard, and the pressures might have dropped off for the defense getting to the quarterback just a little bit, but still, the intensity of this whole defense is still right there. It's putting more pressure on your secondary, who seems to be up for the task, and Aaron Glenn is setting them up for success. I know probably like a year or two ago when we were on the heavyweights, Spencer made the comment that Aaron Glenn is, trying to prepare a salad with spoiled vegetables, and now you look at him, you have everything fresh ingredients all around the board that now he's just thriving on and making the most amazing salad that you have ever seen at any restaurant. So I got to give all credit to Aaron Glenn on this one. But then again, who knows? Next week it could be something different. But as of right now, it's Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn, KG, I got to come to you next. It is Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth.
Yes, sir.
What up, though, brother?
It's AG hands down.
Oh my God!
It's not even close.
Rando, come at KG now.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God! No. You said something so egregious. JB as well.
No, but I'm more likable, so when you're more likable, you can get away with more shit. So shout out to the chat, bro. You know how we rock, chat. But
That's all right. It's called derangement. Derangement. Sorry, KG.
No, it's all good. I'll put the X-Files thing for you. But I mean, it's AG hands down, man. And if you don't think it's AG, then you just haven't been watching this season. And
I mean, it's an AG sweep right now, right?
Yeah.
No, pretty much. And Sam laid it all out perfectly, man.
And I tried to give Ben Johnson his credit and his love. Like I did. Like I wanted to make sure we talk about the fact that I believe he's facing a little bit different challenge, but Aaron Glenn, I don't know even how you comprehend a challenge of no Aiden Hutchinson, who was playing the best of, I don't know, bro. Like
your best player on defense.
I'm sorry, because like Brian Branch has been like the best safety I've ever seen to this point, but he's still young. You want to see it over a full season. Aiden Hutchinson was probably our best edge. He was looking like the best edge win.
He's the best player on your defense, arguably the team. Yeah. So, I mean, it just is what it is. The fact that you were able to still stay in and go undefeated without Aiden Hutchinson, which we all thought, if you losing him, you're going to take some blows. You probably might lose some games. The fact that they were able to hold court until you were able to get a Zadarius Smith in here, I think that's absolutely amazing. And Flannel brought up the Packers game. I would even raise you the Vikings game, man, going down 10 early and then coming back with 21 points unanswered. But a big part of that was because of the defense. And of course, after seeing this Texans game, and it's like when you look at the defense, the improvements that they've made this year, they were already a top 5 rush defense, still kind of are, but now you're looking at top 5 scoring defense. Now you're looking at their top 10 and a lot of other defensive metrics.
With a lot of different losses too.
I'm telling you, this defense has taken on a whole different shape. They are gelling at the right time, and it's low-key a shame that Hutch isn't here for this, because this defense is finally in rhythm, with the way your secondary has been playing, your safety room, your cornerbacks. You brought up Carlton Davis. He's been stepping up as of late. Everybody is starting to get into rhythm, and it's just a shame because Hutch would have been a perfect, mix to this drink. That is the Lions defense, but they are killing it, man. And it's AG hands down. He's kept you in a lot of games this year. Without him, you easily looking at 3 to 4 losses. Easy.
And this is where, whatever compensation or, reward is being handed to AG, this is where you also make sure that Brad Holmes is getting some piece of that, because when Brad Holmes was hired, one of the biggest narratives I heard is that he was the secondary whisperer. And when people were like, and we trying out Jerry Jacobs, no disrespect, and Kendall Vildor, what's going on in the first couple years, and then out of nowhere it was like, Shazam! And it's just like, whoa, what just happened? We got all pros back there. We got a rookie who was trying to get picked on and will not give in. And we got Carlton Davis, who some people said was done. And now he looks like he's absolutely revived. Like everything that I was hoping we would get out of a secondary from Brad Holmes, this is definitely it. And it just, I wanted to go there because earlier when you were talking about the Red Wings, and you don't want to put the blame in one single area, but it just does go to show you make those right signings. Look how much it bolsters things. Even with the Pistons, we're talking about a team today, no matter how heartbroken you are, that is sitting in playoff position today because of the signings of one, Trajan Langdon, and what the coach has done to help these players.
Shout out Trajan Langdon. He's somebody that like, when the season goes on, you sometimes forget about the general manager, or the president of basketball operations.
That's all Brad Holmes some love too.
Yeah.
Man.
Absolutely. But first, I got to tell you about Woodward and Maine because, man, we've been really blowing past these breaks because conversations have been so great.
Yeah.
Hey, Detroit, on game day, wake up with Woodward and Maine, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champions, your Detroit Lions, with insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Roeder. Get ready, Detroit, every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. Woodward and Maine, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, follow your local long drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And then, of course, you've got to go to the pre-game show hosted by those wonderful men right there. It's going to be Random Smalls when I give him a kiss later. Hey, it's the New Holland Brewing Company pre-game show. Every game day, Neil Rule and
I'm
Sean
gonna have to take that one back.
The best Lions pre-game show. You heard me. Me, Phil, Rando. Three-way kiss. Come on.
Wait a minute. I do not endorse that message.
Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports, live at Second Best Bar in
That
Detroit.
amazing Motor City Cruise win last night.
Yeah!
The latest
Shout
injury
out to
reports,
Cruz, man.
fantasy sit and starts, and the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions. Join us for every Sunday home games live at Second Best Bar in Detroit, your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, to all your local long drink, Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and Les Stanford Chevrolet.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
You're an ugly guy. That's okay, because you have a hot girl on your arm. Now Woodward Sports and Les Stanford want to reward you for outkicking your coverage.
I am ugly as by traditional standards.
That's right. If your significant other's hotter than you could win tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. So find the best pic of her with the average-looking you and post it on X or Instagram.
U-D-L-I-N, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. What? You ugly.
Make sure you tag at Woodward Sports and follow us to enter. We'll announce the winner November 25th. Then you and your much better-looking lady will get tickets to watch Dan Campbell and the Kneecappers.
We're gonna buy the kneecap off.
Inside of Ford Field on Thanksgiving. So find the best pic of her and the worst pic of you. And show us all how you outkicked your coverage.
Your mama said you ugly, hey!
From Woodward Sports and Les Stanford.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Listen, fuel your Detroit sports fandom, especially that 8-1 Detroit Lions Honolulu Blue fandom, with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you are gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Hey, so they're treating you guys right. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com and use code Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. What up, though, people? And we are back. You never know what you're going to get, but it always ends in a kiss.
The life's like a box of chocolate.
It's Wake Up Woodward, man.
You know
what a day.
I'm good. I'll be honest. I probably shouldn't have given it as much attention as I should. It was just a wonderful social experiment. Me saying the exact same things as everybody else.
Sam,
Hey,
you've been
you know
doing
what?
better. I'm proud of you, Sam.
And it wasn't Aaron Glenn sweep. And you know what? You know what? Let's woo-saw a little bit before we get into something else that may raise the blood pressure just a little bit.
Oh my God.
I'm so serious. I had fried chicken yesterday. And this one is really. This one is some things are just supposed to be push button. Like push to start. I don't. You know what? Let me send this to you, KG. Let me send this to you.
What up?
Let's make sure we satisfy that like button. We got to woo-saw a little bit
God.
before we talk about the Tigers.
They're a little aggressive this morning. I don't know if they want to satisfy.
Listen, bro, Tarek Skubal is just he's supposed to be a lifelong Tiger, bro. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. Let's satisfy the like button. I got to woo-saw just a little bit, man. Hit the like button to support the WUW Crew, man.
Hey, listen, man. I know y'all like it rough sometimes, and it's okay to like it rough sometimes. But you know what? Let's be a little gentle, man. Let's just go ahead and gently tap that like button for the crew, man. We working hard for you, so you can work hard for us. Don't sweat too much now.
Nope, I'm ripping them panties off that like button.
Damn, JB. JB likes it rough.
Oh, snap. Okay. All right. According to a report from Evan Petzold, the Detroit Tigers contract extension offer to Tarek Skubal wasn't a competitive offer. How much of a concern is this for you? This is wild to me, man. And I get it. I know his agent. But that's the one play. Like, listen, if you're not going to go out there and sign any big name or big money bats, I'm like, okay, whatever. You want to try and cut corners or try and say, you know what, we think we can get more value out of a place here. That's fine. Tarek Skubal, though, I'm to the point now where it's just like, just stop. Sit down, hear him out, give it to him, and walk away.
Man, it's so... First off, it's a bad look that this even came out, and I'm sure Scott Boras made it as such, and I don't blame him.
That's a fact.
I don't blame him for that.
Do you think the fans blame him either?
No, because
I hope not. Y'all tell me.
Because Tarek Skubal, we can talk about a lot of the other contributions, but Tarek Skubal was the Cy Young winner. He was really
Triple Crown.
The Triple Crown win, the pitching Triple Crown winner. He was the reason that the Tigers made the playoffs, and he was the reason that the Tigers won a round. I understand they had to win another game without him, but Tarek Skubal did his job, and he ran out of steam a little bit in the last game against Cleveland, but I put no blame on him for that because he had to really carry this staff when it was just basically him, sometimes Cater Montero, and then later on sometimes Mize and Olsen, but it was mainly him and pitching chaos.
Had to be damn near perfect.
Had to be. He really did. He really had to be damn near perfect. If you're the Detroit Tigers, I think you have three ways where you can go with Tarek Skubal, and it's defensible. One of them is that you just give him that long-term deal that he's earned. I understand if there's some reservations, particularly when it comes to pitchers and their arms, but you can do that, and I think if they give Tarek Skubal the long-term offer and he accepts, I think that the whole fan base is happy and it ultimately ends up being a good move. Another thing you could do, and you could have done this at the trade deadline, is trade Tarek Skubal. And obviously we know in hindsight that it would have robbed the Tigers of a playoff run if they would have done that. But, you know, if they don't want to give him a competitive offer, maybe it's something that they could consider doing now if they don't want to give him a competitive offer and just trade him if you're not going to keep him long term, which I don't like. It's an option. You can get a lot for him. It's an option. And
Don't say that.
And let me give you
Don't say that.
Let me give you the third and least likely option, and probably the least feasible option. You could, for these next couple of years, go all in like a bat out of hell to win a World Series while Tarek Skubal is under team control. But as we're going to see later on, I don't think Scott Harris is going to make that happen. So right now, you still have Tarek Skubal in a state of limbo. Obviously, the Tigers making the playoffs last year, I think that softens a little bit of the anger, but I don't like this idea of Tarek Skubal kind of being in no man's land with the Tigers. He deserves better than that, and the Tigers need to make a decision, or at least make an offer that is competitive because they knew what they were doing. They knew they were trying to lowball Tarek Skubal, and Tarek Skubal and Scott Boras are not going to have any of that. They're not.
KG, what up, though, bro? I love your face right now with this.
No, I'm just with this team, man. They are frustrating. And it's really because you're in a sport without a salary cap. So there's really no legitimate reason as to why you shouldn't go out and spend money, and you don't even need to spend all of the money. If you were to go out and sign Juan Soto right now to everything that he wanted, you would still be middle of the pack in terms of like MLB payroll. Like it's so dumb. But I mean, I'm more so worried about the relationship between Scott Boras and the Tigers because this gets leaked. Clearly, it's because the agent leaked it. And
this doesn't get leaked with Dombrowski.
No, not at all. Not at all. And you can look at this as, okay, it's early in the negotiations. This is more so like posturing or a little bit of a negotiation tactic. And you could be right. You know, they still have 2 years of team control on him. But the longer that this goes, I feel like the harder it's going to be to sign him when he eventually goes to arbitration and maybe even free agency. But I don't like what I'm seeing right now. And then when you hear on top of that, Alex Bregman, somebody that, you know, would fit this Tigers team perfectly, somebody that a lot of fans would want, who is also a Scott Boras client, they're not interested at all. Like, and that's all the reports that we've heard so far is that they're not even attempting to chase this dude. So you must really know as a franchise that the guys that you're bringing up in 2026 and 2027 are going to be stars, because otherwise I don't see what the hell your plan is here.
And to be fair, with what they did last year, they buy themselves a little bit of that. Whether we agree with it logically or not, it's almost like the Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell conversation. People are like, man, he's going for it for every fourth down. People start looking at what is Brad Holmes doing with his aspect of drafting, and then you see whatever they're doing, their plan works. Last year, before the season started, Chris Ilitch said, we have enough. We believe we can make the playoffs. And we laughed at that. And then they did make the playoffs. They made some little tweaks at the trade deadline, and things panned out and worked out for them. So it's like, you want to be fair to that to a degree for the conversation. But in reality, it's like, what are we talking about? Well, I do want to be fair. Chuck Brewer says, I want to know the number. That was so insulting. It's easy saying insult with no context, and that is true. But this just feels like one of those things. Like, I mean, there's not a number that I can realistically think of that would come in that would disrupt what the Tigers are trying to do or this coming season.
There is no number, and the number really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. He is going to be the highest paid pitcher in baseball, whether you pay him or somebody else pays him. He's earned that right. And, you know, last year I was kind of on board with okay, let's not block some of these bats because we really need to get in here and evaluate what the hell we actually have. But things have changed now. You got, you know, Tarek Skubal, he's a triple crown Cy Young winner now. You got Riley Green, he's an all-star. Kerry Carpenter has shown you when he's healthy, he is arguably the best hitter on this team. You have a lot more pieces going into this thing now, coming off a divisional playoff appearance, that says, okay, we need to chase this thing. And you can be patient, but you can also be competitive at the same time. And I don't want that to get lost on, you know, Scott Harris and Chris Ilitch and everybody that's working for the Tigers organization right now, because you can compete and still wait for your young guys to come up, because clearly they have a lot of faith that your Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal, Bryce Rayner, all these guys are going to hit the ground running once they come up, because that's clearly what they're waiting for here, which is why they don't want to spend a whole lot of money until they get those guys up there. But
I get not going outside.
And
you got to do something. You cannot waste Tarek Skubal in a Tigers uniform. You can't do it.
And here's the thing. And Chuck Brewer, for some reason, is being very granular with the numbers. It's kind of weird, but that's all right. I will entertain this. 10 years, $1 billion. You're paying it. Obviously not, and obviously that's not going to happen. We're really Scott-botting and Illich-botting hard today, Chuck. But okay, let me just entertain this before we go to break. Oh.
Because that's why I was like, you know what? This is brilliant, because we got another Tigers segment.
Okay.
We'll save it.
Okay,
Save
we'll
it.
do. Yeah,
we're going to tease the people a little bit. A little
all
fun.
right. I
like this. All right, listen. Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. It's open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a $20 haircut special, a scalp massage, a hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. from one of our talented stylists. Take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Just scan that QR code somewhere on the screen, and when you find it, you get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always a welcome. It's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Golly, attention sports.
You got to be here for these breaks, man.
Attention sports fans, don't miss on our expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. Trust a guy that T-Mac trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. I wanted to just get through that one, make sure that we pay proper respect to the sponsor, but this Tiger stuff is getting me fired up right now, and not for the best of reasons. I know you teed something up before the break. We're talking school, we're talking the numbers. To me, it feels like it should just be done. Hey, before we get into what Flannel teased up and get into more of this kind of platoon nonsense, doggone it, man, if y'all can hear our break. Can you read that super chat, JB Smooth?
Oh, yeah, I got you. Shout out to Dante151. Yep, $4.99 super chat. We are all in Tiger/Red Wing hell right now. Thank God for the Lions not making us go through hell with them. Can we just have fun with our teams, please?
All right, that's a little.
Not gonna be
that's
fun
a little
for these
extreme.
teams.
That's a little extreme, Dante. The Red Wings did get a win last night, and the Tigers are coming off of a playoff appearance. And I'm not just gonna gloss over that. I think some people are. Like the show that goes from 11 to 1. You guys know who you are. But
he's back.
Okay, but so the question was asked from like Chuck Brewer. 10 years, $1 billion. You paying that? Obviously, that was hyperbole. I want to transition that into other comments that Scott Harris made at the GM meetings, and this is according to the Evan Petzold report.
Yeah, because I see Charles McClain has one. That's going to be one of the topics, too.
Absolutely.
Tigers won't spin until Bias is off the book.
He says that
Nutshot.
According to
That
this,
is
according
wild.
to Evan Petzold, Scott Harris said there were no big glaring holes that we need to address. That they need to that they want to find a way to get better without blocking the young players, and platooning Javi Baez and Trey Sweeney next season makes sense on a whiteboard. But those are just words.
Wait. So you mean to tell me we're not paying Scooble, but we're going to literally platoon the highest paid player who should not be here?
Well, they better not. It's just words right now.
I mean,
They're going to. I don't get it.
No, all right. So
I don't. What more data do you need on this guy?
Oh my golly, man, these comments, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah,
I feel like the platoon stuff, the no glaring holes that we need to address, that's the one where I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to see what they're seeing, because I don't want to be F guy. I don't want to be RG3. You single-handedly cost yourself everything. I don't want to be that person. because there were some things that they made, and as we continue to try and take a cautious and a patient approach, we could tell, okay, so if their assessment is that they got guys that they can bring up, I'm like, okay, we can address that. We can try and find a path. Cool. The other one, find a way to get better without blocking the young players. Okay, we can talk about that. But this one, we already know what this one is. Javi Baez.
He's regressed every single fucking year he's been
my
here.
Head just goes. Everything else I can say, cool. I need to sit on my hands because y'all made the playoffs. Y'all made the ALDS. Y'all were one game away from the ALCS. So okay, I mean so whatever. I can understand that. Javi Baez is the one where I don't think anybody needs to be a professional or an analyst or a media or anything. We've all experienced and seen the same thing, and we saw exactly how this squad responded by just you talking about taking steps forward by subtraction, bro. Yeah, I don't understand that one.
There is certainly a lot to unpack, and this is where I kind of go back to they need to pick a lane at this point, to quote Neil Rule, now that I'm quoting him after I just kind of like took a backhanded shot. But the point is that they could pay Skubal, and then if they paid Skubal, DFA'd Javi Baez, and made some more strategic, maybe not high price signings like a Jesse Winker, for example, I would be okay with that. I mean, there's all kinds of options out there, like even like a Kevin Newman if you want a new shortstop. Not someone that's super exciting, but he was a 278 hitter last year. You could do that. You could trade Skubal and try to go young, while also realizing that, or even go more into the youth movement, have an even better farm system, and also rely on the fact that you've got a lot of younger players like a Parker Meadows, like a Riley Green, like a Kerry Carpenter, who have progressed even more than maybe you would think. Or if you're going to do nothing and just keep Tarek Skubal as he is for these 2 years, then I want to see Juan Soto. I want to see Anthony Santander. I want to see Alex Bregman. I want to see Pete Alonso. But that's the problem, is that I can be thrilled with what the Tigers did last year. And I'm one of those people that thinks that there is a lot more there than a lot of people do. But when it comes to blocking younger players, for example, or there aren't glaring holes, I would say that if you want to say Colt Keith is a set piece, Riley Green's a set piece, Kerry Carpenter, Parker Meadows, I could even be okay with maybe even like a Veerling, Jace Young third baseman tandem, but I'm talking about like a first base, like a Spencer Torkelson. To me, Spencer Torkelson has not shown enough throughout his career, throughout his over 1,300 at-bats, that he's viable, that you should be starting your season as a starter.
Said as much.
If you just maybe go out and get like a Christian Walker or a Pete Alonso, or even go after a high-priced veteran like a Goldschmidt or a Carlos Santana, which aren't perfect, they would still be an upgrade. Even the shortstop position, which there should not be a Baez Sweeney platoon and anywhere in the depths of hell. It should never happen. That is just asinine, and I hope that it's just coach speak or presidential speak from Scott Harris. But I think you need a shortstop. I think that's another one where they've got options. You've got a Willie Adames. You've got like a Ha-Sung Kim. You could even get like a Kevin Newman, as I said, and I think that would be a nice upgrade. You can go at it any way that you want. You could do more of those Moneyball type signings like Jesse Winker. You could even move him to first base. I'm cool with that. 367 career on base percentage. I also think it would behoove you to get another catcher to work in tandem with Jake Rogers. I know a lot of people's heads exploded at that, but bring back Carson Kelly, maybe get like a Jacob Stallings or something like that. My point is that there are options all around that you can consider that would make this team better. Yeah. And I don't give a damn about blocking, with all due respect, Spencer Torkelson or Trey Sweeney or like a Dylan Dingler.
Sam, you ain't gonna get none of that. You gonna get Jake Berger and you gonna like it. I mean, what the fuck are we doing here as a franchise?
Can you imagine? Like, literally, they are platooning Javi Baez while Skubal is not long-term locked into a Detroit Tigers uniform.
You have to go all in.
They're not serious,
but
man.
But we know they're not going to go all in. This was a perfect year to go all in. They're not going. Why would they do it next year? Like,
I don't even care about going in. Like I said, you can be competitive and still be patient. Like. add something of substance to this fucking team.
I
Like,
want to know if I'm tripping. Hey,
This is
chat family,
crazy.
let me know. Let's see the love. I was gonna say something to you in the mailbag segment. Definitely happy birthday, Flannel Sam.
Oh, yeah, happy
everybody's
birthday,
giving you the
Flannel.
love, brother.
It is my birthday. I am
happy
a year
birthday.
older, and some may say wiser, some may say not. I am wiser, but
They said, "What are you, Danny G? 30 going on 85?"
some might say that. I am a little bit of a old man in a young-ish man's body, but it's just I am, like I said before, I think that this is a really promising team that has officially identified their core. You can't make the playoffs and not say that you haven't identified your core.
Yeah.
And I'm not even the type of person that's like,
And they didn't just make the playoffs. They got one game.
They
bro.
won a series. They won a series.
Nor can you think this shit was sustainable from last year. I see some people in the chat like, yeah, we did that last year and made the playoffs. It's not sustainable. Tarek
you.
Skubal almost single-handedly got you to the ALCS. He had nothing. Nothing.
It was gassed.
Like, this is crazy.
And that's why I'm glad you brought that up, because when we look at the other organization in town that's leading the way, not just in wins, because there's going to be times when teams peak. We're talking about in terms of how an organization should operate. We always, I am starting to listen to their words, and where I'm seeing some of our other organizations still faltering or struggling, it's in those small details. The sustainability. We're building for long-term success. So much so that we lost Nathan Hutchinson this year from the Detroit Lions, and they're still having extreme success. That's crazy. And then you're looking at the Tigers, and you said it right, KG. Like, you can't depend on what they're doing last year because I don't see the foundation. It's almost like, is this a flash in the pan? Is it luck? We know that Skubal single-handedly had a lot to do with what happened last year. And if they don't believe that, that's where I start to be like, what really are you saying to your fans? I do want to be fair to the aspect of let's see what the offer is, but there can't be an offer within reason that's making him the highest paid baseball player where I'm saying, no, that's too much for Tarek Skubal. What are we doing? We thought, when I think about the impact that Tarek Skubal had this year versus the expected impact that we thought Javi Baez could have, this should be a no-brainer.
It should be. I guess if there's one, like I said, the arm injury issue, the pitchers, the last few years of a long-term contract, I get why there's a little bit of I think they should pay him
it's
for
the
the
risk
record.
you gotta
I
take.
agree 100%.
He's a Cy Young triple fucking crown pitcher.
What is
Cool,
Real
cool. What'd you
K77
see?
talking
What'd you see?
about? Weren't you guys bricked up to trade Scoob and now you can't live without him? No.
That and people
Where
need
did that
to
narrative come
people
from?
need to realize why we're saying trade Skubal at the trade deadline. It made sense at the time because it did not appear that they are
There were
going to
reports
sign him
coming out
long
that they
term.
weren't going. There were little weird things coming out, and that's when Broder said, based on some of the things he was hearing, he stepped to the table and said, "We have to look at what the option looks like. We have
Right.
to cover all options. It's a menu. We want Skubal here long term." He said, "No, I put my beat writing stuff aside. I'll tell you
Yeah.
straight up. I want Terry Skubal here long term."
And to be honest, if you wanted to be patient and wait on the youth and develop from within, it would have made more sense to trade Tarek Skubal at the trade deadline. Nobody wants to trade Tarek Skubal. That's what people got to get through their heads. Nobody in Detroit wants Tarek Skubal off of this team. But it's the fact that the direction that your franchise is going or seemingly is going, he may not be here long term. And if you let him walk for nothing, that is a failure on this regime. That is a failure on Scott Harris. That is a failure on Chris Ilitch. He is the best pitcher in baseball, man. Y'all got to do something.
And I hear you, Randall. You guys too used to basketball. Hey, Randall, I was second team all league in baseball. I played baseball, man. My father was an all-city baseball player in
You
Detroit.
having a bad day, Rando.
I'm just being for real, bro. You look it up in the papers, man. In these Detroit papers. I love Detroit. Basketball, one guy can lead a team. Baseball, football, even hockey ain't like that. It takes a whole team to win. I'm sorry. I remember hockey playoffs, because I was keyed into those old championship teams. They had goalies that were standing on their heads, and it carried them. It propelled them through series. You know what? There were times where we saw pitchers like Justin Verlander absolutely go out there and be the reason why this team was marching forward. Just going out there and saying, hey, you get nothing. We saw Skubal this year go out there and tell teams, you're literally getting nothing, even when his own team was giving him nothing. I just don't understand. I don't understand the comment.
Well, and also to respond to Rando Smalls, wouldn't it make sense to then get more people then? And trust
This
me,
shit is not hard, y'all.
I was
if you
I
really
was
pay attention.
more on board with the Moneyball thing than most. And I still think that you can use elements of that and make it work. I mean, you even look at the 2004 Boston Red Sox. It wasn't just like the Manny Ramirez's of the world, and even David Ortiz at the time was a Moneyball signing. You also had guys like Bill Miller and Kevin Millar. I get, like, you can use that. And obviously, I think a guy like Riley Green is going to continue to get better because everybody knows I'm a big Riley Green fan and I like what he can do. Kerry Carpenter, Parker Meadows, Colt Keith, you've got the core. And that's awesome. And that is absolutely wonderful. It's more about the idea of doing nothing with Skubal, making sure he walks after 2 years, and not making a bigger push while you still have him. Because Tarek Skubal, the level at which he pitched last season, the level at which he carried the team, he should have been rewarded with the World Series. Obviously, that's not how it works, but you need the best team. If you're going to just keep him and you're not going to pay him, put together a team that can win a World Series for the next couple of years. And I think this team is a lot closer than a lot of people do. That's why if you just add a couple pieces, man.
All right, there was something here that actually made me chuckle pretty scuba. I didn't want the Lions to draft Jahmyr Gibbs, so I can't judge.
Hey, that's what, and you know what? That's fine. You go ahead. Form other opinions and be wrong about other opinions. I think that is all well and good. But to go back.
Shout out to Randall Smalls. He said, Kool-Aid, I will give you goalie. Wow, intelligent answer.
Ah, nice.
Thank you, Rando.
Thank you, Rando. And to go back to what was it, the real K77 about, you guys were all bricked up to trade Skubal. Let me ask you a question, man. Did you think the Tigers were making the playoffs at the trade deadline? If you didn't.
And even in the playoffs, because I maybe Kay was talking more so to the chat, but even in the playoffs, you saw where all the holes in this team were. I mean, Riley Green, say what you want about him, he had a great year. He was not great in the playoffs. Like, there is things that pointed to this team not actually deserving to be where they were. Like, this was a once in 60, 70 year occurrence what the Tigers did this last year. Like, come on, guys. Like, we got to get real about this team, and they're not serious about winning if they continue to do these same things, man. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating as a fan.
Pitcher. He's not just a great pitcher. He is the best pitcher in the game, man. The transcendence that we saw last year, that swagger, that kind of, we use the terms, the grit and Detroit this and that. It's like Skubal, he stepped into that last year, man. Yeah. And I do want to see where that journey goes from here. Right? We know this. We'll fall in love with the guy that's on the end of the roster, man, at the end of the bench. But let alone a guy in Tarek Skubal who has represented well, bro. Triple crown.
Even more so than that, you owe the fans. After a fucking decade, you owe us, bro. I'm just got to be real at this point.
Talk your talk before we get to that next segment, bro. Just for real, man.
I'm done, man. But we'll see. It's still early in the process. I'm hoping that, he does add a little bit more substance than what he added last year, but a Jake Berger, and that's not enough, man. Like, I just need to see a little bit more, but it's yet to be seen, man. It's yet to be seen.
These Wings, Tigers, Pistons, some frustration there, man. It is some frustration. And it's because these teams are finally starting to percolate. They're starting to, you can start to see, okay, like we said, Trajan, wow. JB Bickerstaff, let's go. We look at what the Red Wings and where they are at and what the expectations are. We see what the Tigers are at right now. It's like, guys, you're finally ready to push your chips in for Detroit sports.
No,
we're right there.
They hitching they wagon to Max Clark and the boys, so they better be good when they come up.
But if they don't, but what good does that do Skubal if they don't want to sign him?
There it is.
Can we talk about the path? Because there were the other comments. I know we talked the platoon, but tomorrow, if we can, or next week if you think it deserves more, let's talk about what path they see in the minors. What is it that we may need to shine some light on that might be more in alignment with what they're seeing? I think that one would be cool. I'm looking forward to Max Clark. I didn't think it was next year. You know what I'm saying? Like I want them to go and get some, like we talked about with the Pistons. First, lock in Tarek Skubal, I can K, right? That's the parallel. Then go get those reliable kind of veteran bats that you could put in this lineup. I don't even believe that you need that many.
You don't.
All right, we got to get into the next segment. We got to. I know there's some people who are asking, did we talk about it yet? The heartbreak in Milwaukee last night, man.
Yeah.
We got to give it some attention. Where do you want us to go next, Mr. JB Smooth?
Let me tell you about Caesar Sportbook.
You about to make people some money?
I'm trying to. It's the official sports book of us here at Woodward Sports, Caesar Sportsbook. Scan that QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward 1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, and all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And if it doesn't hit, they will throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. I'm telling you right now, there's no sportsbook better than Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Scan that QR code, use code word Woodward 1000, and you know what? Make some money today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party. Every Lions home game live from Second Best Bar, Detroit. Enjoy the pregame hype with a live broadcast every week with Woodward Sports personalities like Neil Rule, Sean Belegian, and the Heavyweights. Brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee and Les Stanford Automotive. Great drinks like Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Long Drink, great environment, and even better food. It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party live from Second Best Bar, Detroit. Brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee Roasters and Les Stanford Automotive. Come get some.
Absolutely, Les Stanford. And guys, this is a very fun contest we're having. Woodward Sports and Les Stanford want to reward you for out-kicking your coverage. That's right. If your significant other is hotter than you, you could win tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. Find the best pic of her with the average-looking you and post it on X or Instagram with the hashtag Woodward Tickets. Tag at Woodward Sports and follow us to enter. We will announce a winner on November 25th. Outkick your coverage from Woodward Sports and Les Stanford Chevrolet, Cadillac, GMC, and Buick in Dearborn and Ferndale.
Oh, that's right. New Holland Brewing Company. I got to tell the people about that. Why? Because it's for you. You guys now get to experience, I'm telling you, the best way to watch the Detroit Lions if you're not going to be at the game. And if you're at home, make sure you're still tapped in via Woodward Sports. But live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township, every single Lions game, and it is so hype. We're breaking this thing down, starting with the watch party, all of the instant reactions to all of the big plays. I'm telling you, every single touchdown, singing the fight song forward down the field, hearing the Joe Louis hockey horn going off for every single score. It's the place to be. Good food, good drinks, and good people. You know what? And then right after that, you get the postgame show hosted by Stick and Anton. Instant analysis right away, where we want you all to take center stage. If you're there, we'll put a mic in your hand, put you on camera, and if you're at home, you can call in and give your thoughts on the game. All of this is brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller your local long drink, 1800 Tequila, Sabbath Coffee, and Older Sorokas. Let's go. Hey, and welcome back, people. It's Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off your day with the WUW Crew. It's your boy Brandon Day, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad, vet of the network, Red Wings correspondent, and all things sports knower. We got Cavassier Chase in the building. What up, though? Pastor Cavassier.
He passing that good ganja, too. Coffee like
see,
that.
y'all didn't see the shot that he took off screen.
That's a smoker's call.
Cavassier got to him early.
Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth. That's KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood.
What up, man? Hey, Tigers, man, y'all got to get it together, bro. That's all. And I'm going to just leave it at that. Get y'all shit together.
In the TD booth, it is Woodward Sports MVP JB Smooth.
Let's get into this Pistons talk because I'm a little upset about this.
One more again, Cavassier Chase. What up, though?
Hey, what up, though? Man?
I love it. And last but not least on this starting lineup, the chat family. Hey, we got to talk about these Detroit Pistons because you talk about heartbreak last night. An opportunity to go up 1 or 2 points with 1 second left in the game. The rookie Ron Holland stepped up to the free throw line, and you could tell.
Yeah,
that there was some nerves. You could
I
see he
swear
was
you could
sick
see
after
it.
the first miss. I could see it on his face. And it was just like, you know what? You don't excuse these things. These are mistakes that you don't want to see the Detroit Pistons compound. And free throws has been something that has cost them, in my opinion, 3 games. And I know before the show, this was something that Chase was really, really big on. That for him, fundamentally, he does believe that everybody should have it together free throw wise. But we all know that in sports, there are different things, man. Pressure, it'll get to you. And with a guy like Ron Holland, I do believe that we're going to see better days. But for me personally, this was a game where the Pistons were missing Fontecchio, Jaden Ivey. Stewart got ejected from the game, and we understand the impact that he has in the middle, and that did play a role. And then you talk about this here, a game where Giannis had to have 60 freaking points, and he himself took 4 more free throw attempts the entire Detroit Pistons team, and it came down to a rookie missing a couple free throws. The Pistons, they fall to 5-8 on the season. They get big contributions from the backcourt of Cade Cunningham and Malik Beasley. 26 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists from Malik Beasley. He shot 8 of 16 from behind the arc. Cade Cunningham, 35 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 of 10 from behind the arc. 6 turnovers for Cade Cunningham, so you want to see that number come down. Jalen Duren is a player that people want to see a little bit more out of as well. 9 points. 9 rebounds, 6 assists though, 5 turnovers. So you want to see him get that in check. But largely this game, it looked a lot like the other Detroit Pistons losses. And it's about what they do down the stretch. We see them still playing the good defense. We still see this team sharing the rock. We still see this team hustling. But they're going to have to create an end-game identity. Whether there's more that they need to add. And we believe in that. You can't keep losing games this way. Regardless of the personnel that you believe you need to bring in. You have to form your end game identity, and that's why I do look to JB Bickerstaff from a strategy standpoint to continue to tweak things, which I've seen him do a couple times this season so far.
That's fair. And yeah, last night was definitely a heartbreaker. And to piggyback on the fact that Giannis was officiated poorly, I will say. Yeah. I'm not going to make...
But that's what happens.
Like he's Giannis Antetokounmpo, but
yeah.
the crappy thing about last night though is that the ball did lie, because Giannis of course chose last night to shoot 16 of 17 from the free throw line, when including last night's game he's a 61% free throw shooter this season. If you want to talk about a nut punch, that is an absolute nut punch. I mean, the front court for the Milwaukee Bucks, if you want to include Brook Lopez as well. Brook Lopez, who he himself has had a really poor offensive season, he absolutely went off. 5 of 8 from 3.
Is he every single time? Is he not a notorious Detroit Pistons killer?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where he's at, what jersey he has on.
Fact.
It doesn't matter what gym, bro. If it's in a rec league and you have a Pistons jersey on, you're getting sauced by one of the Lopez brothers.
Absolutely, and that's where last night I like to look at things in totality in a lot of ways. I want to blame those who actually deserve to be blamed when you look at the totality of the game. I'm looking at the fact that Tobias Harris and Duren were not good, and they got completely outclassed by the Milwaukee Bucks front court, which got like 80 points themselves. More than that, just 59 from Giannis, 28 from Brook Lopez. But you look at Tobias Harris, man, he's just continuing on what is a disappointing season. 4 of 15. His shooting splits and his points per game all across the board are down. His 3-point percentage is down 9 percentage points to what it was last season. And every stat is down all across the board. He was somebody that you relied upon this year to be a steadying veteran presence. He hasn't been terrible all year, but over the totality of the season, he's been bad.
Bro,
yeah.
Tobias Harris, the one thing that we can count on is the shooting splits. When you look at the totality of his career, it doesn't matter if the athleticism has been the same or the defense has been the same, or even if the scoring output has been the same. The shooting splits have always been steady. And you know what? I'm hoping he gets it together, because this feels like
this
feels eerily similar to Bogey
It
It
does.
feels eerily
Worse
similar,
offense.
bro.
It does.
Much worse
That's
offense.
what I'm saying. But,
Right, at
I'm
least
talking about
Bogey was giving you
decline
30
standpoint.
sometimes. Like,
But exactly, and I'm talking about as it reminds me of Bogey. Bogey gave us much better offense early on.
Yeah.
But the decline factor, like we got them
yeah.
at this point where we're like, whoa, okay, they're not necessarily what we expected. I do believe that Tobias is going to have a bounce back.
I hope.
I'm still bullish on Tobias
I've been
having a bounce
sounding
back
the horn.
shooting wise. Oh man,
been sounding the horn on Tobias, man. I want him to be better. Too,
you are.
but It's just, it's not.
No, that's fair. There's a reason why Tobias Harris, to a lot of Pistons fans before the season, was radioactive. And I never quite understood why, but I didn't foresee what was going to happen at the beginning of this year. Do I think he's going to get it together? Absolutely. But you're looking at a season in which Tim Hardaway Jr. has given you more than what you could have bargained for. You're looking at a game last night where Malik Beasley
and
was
Hardaway
excellent.
wasn't in there.
Absolutely. And Hardaway wasn't in
player
there.
that wasn't there.
Stewart got ejected. Fontecchio wasn't there. Ivy wasn't there. But to be fair, the Bucks were missing Dame. So but the Pistons were definitely missing more. It was a disappointing game, but at the end of it, if Ron Holland just makes one of those free throws, they win. And I'm not putting too much on him because rookies do rookie things. Rookies, sometimes the moment is too big for them, and that's okay for now. Would have preferred it not cost you a whole game, but there was a lot that could have been done. Like, they shouldn't have blown an 18-point third quarter lead either.
No, they shouldn't.
And that's where when you see what happened in the overtime is where you instantly say, okay, the microcosm, the focus, the event, the climax is going to be, everybody looking at those missed free throws, but the story is exactly what happened in overtime. The story is you gave up an 18-point lead. The story is you're still dropping big leads. You're still having issues in the third quarters. These are your stories. Because if you roll the dice, you might not get that same outcome last night, but I do know what's going to happen. Where you might not get the same outcome where it's Ron Holland at the line. Maybe he dunks that ball in another universe and the Pistons win the game. That still's not going to solve the issues that are going to cost them. They have too many of these late game situations. And we can say that they've won some of them, but even in the ones they've won, they've let big leads slip.
Yep.
And that's where I'm just like, look, I don't want people to focus too much on Ron Holland because, yes, you want to knock down those free throws.
Yeah, he blew the
and
game.
I'm hoping that this is the start of his superhero arc and not a villain arc for Ron Holland. Because the way that he works, and I know this for a fact, man, from his peeps, from his camps, he's sick. This is something where he's brought into Detroit. So even though this is just game like 13, 14 on the season for them, he wanted that. And so it's like from that standpoint, okay, get better. Let's not have these things happen again. But from a standpoint of things we do keep seeing happen again, that's what I wanted to be able to focus on. They have to get better with these late game situations and how they manage this and how they scheme up plays.
Yeah.
And I believe that they will get better. But I do want to make sure that we shout out Marcus Sasser.
Oh yeah,
I thought he had his best game of the
minutes.
season. He looked to be the player that I thought he could be.
We actually
the
saw
type
him.
of role. Just, 67% from the field, 2 stocks, got a block and a steal on the game. No turnovers and 11 points. And he didn't look frazzled. He didn't look like the moment was too big for him. It was like what I kind of hoping we can get from him off the bench until we can get more of a stabilizing, facilitating type guard that can complement him. I've always stated, I believe that type of a guard will unlock more for not just Cade, but I do believe Marcus Sasser is a talent, but you got to have kind of that facilitator there to help these young guards go.
No, absolutely, and he was great, man. It's nice to see him go out there because you do need more scoring off the bench as well. I understand his playmaking and his size may have limited him before, but I would like to see a lot more Sasser because you just have a desperate need at that backup point guard spot. But I mean, Ron Holland, say what you want about him. I like a lot about this kid's game. We got to be real about it. He blew the game. And for someone that, is so far on the year shooting 80% from the free throw line, I just do expect better. These things happen, but it can't continue because you can't let away crowds phase you in the NBA. You got to go up there with ice in your veins, and you got to be able to knock those shots down. But it's just part of the maturation process of this team, and I think we forget that the Milwaukee Bucks are a former defending champion, and Giannis Antetokounmpo and Brook Lopez were a big part of that championship, and you saw them just do what veteran championship teams do last night. Giannis took over. I mean, the game he had was absolutely amazing. I know JB earlier didn't want to acknowledge Brook Lopez on the way in,
acknowledging
but
Brook
no,
Lopez.
Brook Lopez hit some really big shots late in that game, man, and that is why they have Brook Lopez on that team. No, he's not the same player he once was, but he does stuff like that. That's why he has an NBA job to this day. So I think it's just, they need to learn how to win games, and this is why I didn't want to necessarily change my expectations, although they have been playing better ball, is because I still see the cracks in this thing. I still see that they're a young team. They're still trying to figure this thing out, and they are going to have a lot more nights, unfortunately, where they might have a lead and lose it, or they might be neck and neck with a team and just so happen to miss out in crunch time. So these things they need to learn, they need to pick up on, but I am encouraged by what I've seen so far. They've competed in every single game. They took Milwaukee to the wire, and you just hope that they come out on the better side of these going forward.
But that's where philosophically I think I look at it just a little bit different. We can say that Ron Holland blew the game, but in reality, I don't believe he blew the game. That game went to overtime. The team blew the game, but I mean but
this is where I philosophically you win the game if you make those free throws.
You do win the game if you make those free throws. But what he blew was a chance to pick up his brothers. That's what I'm saying. He blew a chance to erase all of the mistakes that are going to cost this team time and time and time again. Right. So it's like we don't excuse the fact that he missed the free throws. But for me personally, it's like when I'm looking at the Pistons moving forward, those are the things that I want to look at. Is okay, from a strategic standpoint, how do we make sure that we're not even in that situation, because it shouldn't have gotten there. And that's where I'm just like, okay, make the free throws, get it together. You know what I mean? As it relates to the moment, the pressure, and what it all means. But overall, it should not have come down to that.
You can make the same argument with the Lions. Like Jared Goff shouldn't have threw 5 interceptions, and Jake Bates shouldn't have to pick up his brothers and kick the game-winning field goal. But that's what you did.
Jake Bates was brought here to be this. We knew he was that. That's what we knew. That was the expectation. Ron Holland was playing in a position above his head last night.
He was standing 15 feet from the basket with everyone just standing there watching him.
He's supposed to make it.
Exactly.
No one's arguing that.
You got to make it.
You
got to make it.
And like I said, he's 80% from the free throw line on the year.
You got to make it.
You got to make it. He was 90% that night. He's got to make it.
I still believe that the bigger issue here, and it's what's cost this team more than anything else this year.
Yeah.
Because Ron Holland has been one of the more bright spots.
No, absolutely.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, to be able to go out there and say the fact that we allowed Brook Lopez to pop off for 28, and for when Stu went out, Giannis to look like the second coming of freaking Wilt. Those are the things that matter to me a lot more than that. And I'm sorry, that's just me. Why? Because I don't believe that we're going to see that type of situation pop up. Like, really? Anymore. If I could bet right now, Ron Holland to win the game on free throws, I don't believe we see that anymore this season.
I hope not.
That's just me
Probably
personally.
not.
Because he has to learn.
I'm just saying the odds of that situation happening. I don't even understand how many times we've seen a situation like that. But if we're going to be for real about the Pistons, we can be hurt and emotional, and we can say what we want, because yes, make the free throws. But in reality, what's cost this team is so much bigger than 2 free throws, and it's exactly what we saw last night.
I'm definitely not putting the whole game on Ron Holland, but I was just being real. In that moment, he blew the game. I mean, it's just being real.
I feel like the game was blown defensively.
True,
I believe that the game was blown from a lack of physicality standpoint after Stu went out. I believe that there was so much more that goes into this thing.
Yeah.
The vets are always going to be, in my opinion, for this iteration of the Pistons, the stirrer of everything.
That's a fact.
And I get it. That's why I'm like, no, there's no argument in terms of, or even caping for Ron Holland as it relates to the free throws. Make the free throws.
Mm-hmm.
You have an opportunity to be here in this big position and put your team ahead as a rookie who had less expectations than a Jake Bates.
Right.
That's just the reality. Jake Bates was brought here as a guy that we knew was booming these types of kicks.
Yeah.
He was brought here for that. Ron Holland was brought here, and they stated he's probably going to be a little bit of a project. And there were 5 other players that were out last night, 3 or 4 of which would probably have been in the game during that situation. If that was Ivy, those are probably at least 1 or at least 2 free throws knocked down, and we're going about our day. And we're talking about, they almost blew another one. What are they going to do to make sure that they don't? That's what we'll be talking about.
Do you want to? I saw Stick in the chat earlier, man. We got to talk about the Cade turnovers because, he was getting after me and Spinny yesterday. Clearly, I mean, the turnovers are a problem, but I'm just sick of this being like the narrative on Cade Cunningham, or, he can't be great because he turns the ball over. Like, it's stupid to me.
Everybody all high usage players turn the ball over. And I'm not saying that there are some turnovers that are 100% careless, and he did go cold in the third and at the beginning of the fourth, at least towards the end of the third and at the beginning of the fourth.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, when it was time, when they were down by 7, Cade Cunningham 193 after he got blocked by Brook Lopez. I don't know what he was doing trying him there, but that's another story for another day.
He should have went up more
It made
aggressively.
him
He was gonna do
angry
that.
though, and he went on a run where he made a 3, another 3, a jump shot to give them a lead. He blocked Giannis at one point, and in overtime he scored 7 of the 9 points.
I mean,
So
35 and 11. He's 5 of 10 from 3. I mean, what more do you want from this guy?
maybe more efficient shooting, but still,
yeah, but he was
Efficient
there when
shooting,
you
though,
needed him. He
you
was
know,
there when you needed him.
yeah.
That's where I look at efficient shooting. That's where with Cade, you got to look at the true shooting and the effective field goal percentage because he shot 5 of 10 from behind the arc, which is going to actually he's probably shooting over 50% true shooting in this game if we just probably look at the game.
For sure.
And that's where it's like with Cade. This is always going to be the narrative with him. No, he has to average a quadruple double. He has to play a perfect game. Somebody with his usage, like I'm just sorry guys, with the turnovers. Go and look at the top 10 in turnovers, and you're going to see a bunch of all-stars and superstars.
Thank you.
That's just how the nature of this era of NBA basketball is. You go back to the era of Chauncey Billups basketball, it was a little bit different, where the turnover to assist ratio was one of the most prized things. I remember us talking about Chauncey Billups has this 6-point such and such assist to turnover ratio. It was one of the main things we would try to utilize to say why Chauncey Billups was a better point guard than other point guards who might have had more gaudy stats. In this era of basketball, your top playmakers and your top ball handlers are going to have turnovers. Are there some people who transcend that? Who they handle the ball a lot, the rock a lot, and they can maintain not having that? Yes, and that's what we want Cade Cunningham to get. But in reality, this man is going out there every single night, and you see the difference when he's out there versus when he's not. Like
They lose
what are
that
we
in
talking
regulation
about?
without Cade.
Yeah,
Just flat out. He was there when you needed him to be.
No, but if Ivy was there, he would have given Ron Holland a nice speech, and he would have made one of the free throws. Motivated him from the bench, right, Stick? Right?
And I see people talking about Duran still as well.
His defense got to improve.
Yes.
And I understand you guarding Giannis. He's unguardable. But there were just moments in that game where you just got to be better in the low post.
And 9-9 with those minutes.
Yeah, you can't. You need more.
Yes, Giannis is unguardable, and I definitely wouldn't put Duran on him. But you got to give credit to Beef Stew as well, because I mean he was physical with him for the majority of that first half. And there you go, his points total. He probably would have got half of that second half total if Beef Stew was still in the game, just being a little bit more physical with Giannis. So the wheels started to fall off as soon as he got ejected, and next thing you know, the whole game just flipped for the Bucks, and it just irritated me so much to see that happen.
Yeah. And you know what? And just to kind of double back around with the summary, it's like, you want your young guys to be able to step up in those positions and knock those types of shots down.
Yeah,
you do. And then beyond that, I'm going to continue to put the focus on wanting to see this team do what they have to do to stop having these types of situations.
Yeah.
So that we're not in a situation where it's coming down to a Jalen Duran lob one night and then a Ron Holland lob the next night. It should not come down to that in games where did they battle back to get those opportunities, or did they lose big leads and found themselves in a position to where now you have to pull a rabbit out of a hat to make something happen, because the chances of them even getting that foul for Ron Holland is slim to none.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. The way all of that stuff set up, I'm hoping that when you have an opportunity to erase all the mistakes, which sports gives you that, to Chase's point, to KG's point, it gave Ron Holland an opportunity to erase all the mistakes. And it might not be free throws in the future. In the future, it might be a defensive possession.
Right.
In the future, it might be hustling on the floor. And you want to make sure that each and every possession and each and every opportunity to put your team ahead is something that's valued. This is where I understand the frustrations with Cade come from, because some of the turnovers are careless.
Of course.
Some of them are in big moments, and that's where I understand you want to make sure that as you want Ron Holland to do everything in your power to come up big with at least one free throw in that situation, is the same way that I want Beef Stew to be able to stay in the game. The same way that I want Jalen Duran to be as effective as we see him in some of his bigger games. The same way that I want Cade Cunningham to protect the ball more and better down the stretch. You know what I mean? These are the things that have cost them. And in the vets, you want to see these guys mainly.
I mean, Malik showed up 8 3-pointers, but it's got to be
his revenge game.
But like I said, Tobias, you are the highest paid veteran free agent on this team. We just need more. I'm sorry. Like you got to provide more. It's looking more like last year of 76ers Tobias than the Tobias we were hoping to get, and we can't have that, man. Like, you have to shoot the three better. You were brought here to space the floor. We just need more.
And I see this, and I guess it could be kind of a bold Chuck Brewer with Pistons. How about the coach actually daring to call out the foul situation in his presser? He's sick of it too. Sure, he'll get a fine for it. And you know what? We could have, the reason why I called out Giannis's thing is just to show you how much they were given to Giannis.
Exactly.
Not to utilize as necessarily an excuse, because we all believe and know Cade and these guys probably deserve a few more free throws.
Probably.
But in reality, yes, that played a huge part in this thing, especially with the physicality that the Pistons play and that the Bucks play with as well. That's the thing, though. You can't allow these things to continue to be one-sided. And I see people posting highlights all over the place of SGA getting the most tiki-taka fouls, Giannis getting the most tiki-taka fouls, K getting hit in the face, Ivy getting hit in the face, Duran getting grabbed and pulled and all of this, and these guys are not getting the same types of whistles. I don't want to use that as an excuse, because despite that, this is why I'm like, despite that, and this is where you guys have your biggest case. Teron Holland knocked that down. They had a position to win.
Yeah.
They had an opportunity to win several games this year. That's how much better this team has gotten. And that's why, in the chat, when I looked down at the chat, I was like, that's the ultimate kumbaya. The chat is saying, yeah, we want them to win this. Yeah, we all gut punch. So we're going to have these emotional conversations because a team should be better. We haven't seen a team with this type of promise at all during the rebuild. And so they should be better. But the chat family is saying, you know what? We do believe that this team is better. Last night sucked, but we see the improvements in this squad. So, hey, let me know continuously, chat family. Put in the chat how you guys are feeling about the Detroit Pistons right now as they go forward. And what improvements you think they need to make to be able to stop these late game letdowns. Sheesh.
Absolutely. 1800?
Yeah, 1800 and Soroki's.
Absolutely. 1800 Tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions watch parties, and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township, and celebrate the wins with Smooth 1800 Tequila, proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila. Drink responsibly.
And I don't know if these two mix well together, but Soroki's, 1800 and Soroki's. How can you not? I mean, come on. Soroki's has a new once-in-a-lifetime, limited-time offer right now for football season. They're debuting their fresh signature wings that you see right there up on the screen. Grab your friends, order a pizza, and then add on some wings as well, too. 7 different flavors for you right there. Has some at the watch party as well. And if you don't have time to go in store and order, you can always order online and get yourself hooked up at Sorokis.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
That's okay, because you have a hot girl on your arm. Now Woodward Sports and Les Stanford want to reward you for outkicking your coverage.
I am ugly as by traditional standards.
That's right. If your significant other's hotter than you could win tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. So find the best pic of her with the average-looking you and post it on X or Instagram.
UGLIN, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. You ugly.
Make sure you tag at Woodward Sports and follow us Twitter. We'll announce the winner November 25th. Then you and your much better looking lady will get tickets to watch Dan Campbell and the Kneecappers.
We're going to buy the kneecap off.
Inside of Ford Field on Thanksgiving. So find the best pick of her and the worst pick of you. And show us all how you outkicked your coverage.
Mama said you ugly. Hey!
From Woodward Sports and Les Stanford. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
I got to tell you guys about New Holland, that tangerine space machine. The new easy drinking IPA that is out of this world. It's smooth, it's juicy with refreshing crushability. And I don't know if you guys know this, but this is the official beer of outer space. They know about this on the moon. It's on tap out there. And you know where else is on tap at? Second best bar.
Hey, you know what? It is the best party, period, for every single pregame Detroit Lions, man. It's epic. It's the ultimate fan experience where Detroit's very own second best bar located at 42 Watson Street. You get to enjoy a little bit of smooth Tullamore Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show. Only a second best bar. Come get some. Hey, what up, though, people? We are back. And it's time to spark up. We ain't even gonna deliver. It's gonna spark up. Word to Dispo, man. Everybody's favorite segment.
Let's get it.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, you over there. That's JB.
Hey, let's rock.
Yo, what's going on, chat family? What's going on, fellas? I got some videos for you today. And I know me and Chase were talking about this a couple weeks ago when we talking about fantasy football punishments.
I thought it was going to be free throw shooting drills.
No, not free throw shooting drills. Fantasy football punishment. I don't know if this is one we would want to do for our league, but
oh no,
I thought I'd show you.
Oh no.
Homegirl is in a walking boot.
Oh, damn.
That's not so bad.
That gets annoying after a while.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there like,
you can't really walk in walking
boots.
Yeah, I broke my foot. Like, that's not the worst thing.
You have to walk around like this all day, all game.
And two of them through a stadium. Like, that's tough.
That's pretty tough, man. My feet be hurting in regular shoes.
If that was the punishment, I wouldn't care if I came in last place. That's easy.
Well, you and Dante would be swapping this one off a lot. So,
wait, who just beat you this week?
No, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
But hey, that's one punishment out there. I don't know if we want to take a vote on it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more else that
we could do better than that.
that we could do better than that. But you know what?
Player said the double up is crazy.
The double up is crazy. And like I said, we're getting closer to the weekend. So like I said, I know you're going to be out there drinking, having some fun. And if you do some dumb things, just record it and remember to send it to me. And also, you know what? Watch out for that poll.
Polls? Oh no.
What the f?
Bro.
Oh!
How did you even get over there?
What?
You shouldn't have even got over there, bro. You had so much room between that pole
What?
and that. Like,
Look
why
at
even
him.
go toward the pole?
Oh my
Let that ball
word.
go. Let the ball go.
It's the way the light dims for me, dog, when he hits the light pole. Like, shoot.
He smacked that motherfucker.
Look at how that boy just
Bro,
did.
just, sometimes you gotta let the pass go.
Damn.
I didn't even notice the light went out and came back on.
Oh my God.
That quarterback is horrible too.
You about to say
Horrible. Is that Matthew Stafford medicine ball?
Wow. Good defense by the pole.
Calvin
though.
Johnson on the Lions?
Yeah.
Damn.
That pole was like Ed Reed out there.
What up,
Linebacker, Alabama.
What up, Adam?
That was, I put that more on the quarterback.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got the whole middle of the field to work with, but that quarterback led him right into the pole.
Yeah, I mean, you have the whole, like you said, you have the whole middle of the field, and you decide to throw a back shoulder fade
But
on
yeah,
the sideline. Like,
Yeah.
Why are you throwing a back shoulder fade and like just pick up football? That's too like. See, he even said it. Back
hear
shoulder.
me?
Back shoulder.
Hell no.
That's for professional quarterbacks.
No. You hear him say it?
That's just rough.
Do better, kids.
Oh my gosh.
That is just rough. That's rough right there. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. KG, you know they have a saying in the wrestling business of going in business for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, this flower girl went in business for herself at one of her friends' weddings.
Let's see it.
She already threw the bouquet. Oh, all right.
Damn, okay.
Man, my kids have been a couple weddings. If they did this, I don't even know what I would do, bro.
Dog, flower girl, show it out.
Flower girl took it upon herself to do a backflip.
A bicycle kick. She really bicycle kicked old girl in the face.
I'm like, freaking, like, last time I seen that, I was playing Mortal Kombat.
Oh, my goodness.
Was this part of the presentation? I just don't get why she's backflipping at the wedding like this.
I don't know.
At first,
wow.
Yeah, this is not planned either. Somebody who's like, oh, look at my daughter. And the way they put the phone down, I was like, oh my gosh. No, she didn't. Like, oh my gosh.
That's hilarious, man.
It's not about you, kid.
Right.
Teacher Flannel. I see Teacher Flannel over there.
Oh, yeah.
This tells me that this was planned, though. Like, I don't know. The parents, like, come on, dog. Y'all can't have her doing this in the middle of the wedding,
crazy.
Man.
This tells me that this little girl is going to be makes someone a very happy first wife.
Oh, did she? I just realized that she just completely smacked the other girl behind her too.
Yeah, I said bicycle kick.
I keep getting flabbergasted with the fact that old girl threw the bouquet and just completely did a backflip. But it's like, and then you took out your little sister in the process. It's just like,
she's gonna take a man for everything he has someday.
That's a
I
fact.
see that energy.
That's a fact.
So whoever ends up marrying this young little shrew can go to KDK Law. Kevin and Catherine.
If you get kicked in the face by her, I'm sure KDK can help you out there too. Goodness gracious.
But that's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag.
Taming of the Shrew. 10 Things I Hate About You was based upon that. But anywho,
that was
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I love Wake Up Woodward, you guys. I hope you guys do too. Hey, hit those like buttons, man. Let's run up the lights. Do you want to take a quick one, or do we just read through and we'll get this mailbag?
Yeah, let's just read through it and run in the mailbag.
Let's rock that.
Mark White and Feldman.
Hey, Mark White, of course. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Hey, you can't forget about Feldman.
Feldman, you buy a home, you buy a car in the exact same day. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Let's go. It is now time for the Wake Up Woodward Mailbag segment presented by Feldman Automotive Group. Chuck Brewer, member for 21 months, Chuck. Listen,
shout out.
When Woodward Pistons was just in its infancy stage, Chuck Brewer was there, halfway across the world, wherever he is.
Shout out.
Shout out to you, Chuck Brewer, man. The support that you continue to give to Woodward Sports and even each of us individually. You hit us up on socials and such. I know Dante is another one. Ed O'Neill. I can just go down the list. I'm going to forget people. I feel bad when I do. But I'm telling you guys, it goes a long way. He says, happy birthday, Mr. Statman. Do your thing. Respect.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Respect.
How old are you, Flannel?
33.
Whoa.
Happy birthday in your Grand Hill years.
Yes, Mike. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say Larry Bird.
Oh. In this town, Grant Hill.
Yeah.
All time, though.
I mean, to the chat, you Larry Bird, though. So.
What about Sione Vaki?
Hey, with the way he tackled 2 Texans, I'll take that.
You got enough for that big musket?
I think so.
Let's rock.
I think so.
Let's rock. Happy birthday again.
Right.
Thank you.
Double shot musket today.
Hey, maybe today.
Got a double on that motherfucker today.
It's not up to me.
It's
up to how I feel.
Right.
Gonna be the best. Vaki!
Yes.
I love it, man.
Bang, bang.
Two of them things. Alan W. Feldman Mailbag. If AG leaves for a coaching job, I don't even want to think about that, but it's a real possibility. Why did I read this?
Keep Wink Martindale.
You found the comment?
Yeah. Come on, dog.
No.
Don't play with us, dog.
I didn't even want to read the rest of it. And I had to scroll up to find this, which is so funny that you found it too, dog.
Here's
Like,
what I will say. not to go off on a tangent, but Wink Martindale was the least of the Michigan's problems against Indiana.
That's a fact.
That's fair.
And he does say, just kidding, fellas. I love the show. Thank you, Alan W., man. I'm telling you guys, the support is awesome. Xavier D. Happy birthday, Sam.
Thank you.
Hey, you're getting some love from the chat family here. Let's find this next Feldman. Charles McClain, Feldman Mailbag. Pistons are having the same problem this year that Cavs had last year. Good on defense, but near bottom in scoring efficiency. So is it the system or is it the players? Look at the Cavs this year. It's a good observation.
That's a good point.
But that's the thing, though. The Cavs got to where they are right now. We talked about a foundation.
Right.
And I said with the Pistons, I can see a foundation. We do know that J.B. Bickerstaff had a lot to do with the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what type of coach J.B. Bickerstaff will be once the foundation is established. But I know this. What I'm seeing out of the Pistons right now is much more enjoyable basketball than last year. So for right now, I'm like, I think he's the guy. But I do believe that this is a good point being raised.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe JB's not a ceiling raiser, and it's just a floor raiser. That is to be seen, though. And that's what we need right now.
All right. I'm not ready to say it's the system just yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. I do believe, because we see great improvements. This team is sharing the ball at an actual better level this year.
Yeah.
So it's like all the way around from Trajan to JB to the players. Right now, it's just what do they do collectively to ensure that they don't continue to have the same late game letdowns? And before that, third quarters, what are you doing?
Sure.
Them and the Lions go out to lunch. Figure it out.
Sure.
And I'm just kidding. I know I'm going to hear the whole chat from, oh, you're comparing the Lions to the Pistons. Just having fun, guys. I love my team. Ed Catellis, Mailbag. Where are you guys taking Sam for his birthday lunch? What are you doing for your birthday?
Very little, if I'm being honest.
Right.
I am a not a very celebratory kind of guy, to say it like the Brits would say.
Just a fan. Is Flannel going to have a lettuce-covered cake for his birthday?
No, but
because you do like your lettuce on pizza.
I love lettuce on
lettuce,
everything. Man. It's my superfood. It fuels the musket. Not to be TMI, but I need lettuce. Lettuce is to me, the greatest superfood on earth is like a Qdoba or a Chipotle bowl or something like that with lots of extra lettuce.
Oh my God,
Jerry Alexander.
You like Popeye with the spinach, man.
The fuel to the big musket. Jerry Alexander, Feldman Mailbag. Do you think the Pistons have a good chance of coming out of their group in the NBA tournament? That's the in-season tournament, the Emiratis Cup.
God, I'd have to look at the schedule.
NBA Cup. I think they have a good chance.
Okay.
At least from their division winning.
Okay.
Definitely.
Hey, I don't really care about that as much. I'm just glad that these wins count in the standings.
Yeah.
I saw we brought up Mortal Kombat earlier, man. People was talking about that in chat with Bicycle Kid. That girl, man. Mike G, Melsack. Will Kirk Campbell mess up against the bye week?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
He'll lose against the bye week. I'll tell you what, though. Northwestern's not a gimme. Saying that makes me want to just run out in traffic at this point. But hey, it is what it is. At least we won the Natty.
Mike G.
You say that for 2 more months. That's
Flannel
great.
is the Luke Kane of WSN.
Thank you.
All right. I like Luke Kane. Randall Smalls, Feldman Mailbag. Sam, my point earlier was that different team units will go up and down all year with them bailing each other out.
Why don't you just say that then? And my point was that...
Go out to a bar.
Yeah, no. Let's just say it then. And my point was that...
Get a bar,
this season, honestly... The fact that we've had multiple games where the defense has carried the load, that's a testament to Aaron Glenn. That's obviously a testament to the players as well, but the fact that he's continued to do that against the Packers and against the Texans, where the defense has really led the way, we already knew the offense was great, and we've seen the offense go off, but the defense is really what needed to be upgraded more, so that was my point.
Yeah. And I'm going to read one more here while you guys get an opportunity. Please get some birthday love in the chat for Flannel Sam. Get that birthday love in. We're definitely gonna read some. But Freddie Felt, while I'm reading this mailbag, get that love in there. He says, I am sitting in the end zone on the rail by the tunnel for the Lions-Colts game. Should I dress up as Sonic, or should I bring a flannel fathead face to hold up? Thoughts? I want to see the flannel. I want to see the flannel. Right? I want to see that one. The one with him kind of like this with the sleeveless flannel.
No, shut up, Freddie. Shut up, Freddie, because He's one of the speaking of like people who've been here since the beginning, like with the Chuck Brewers and Freddie Felt 313. Loved having you in the
Freddie is the
studio.
man.
And
Yes,
I'll tell you
sir.
what,
Yeah, shout out
I'm
Freddie.
glad for your sake that the Lions go to Indianapolis this year because I know you live there. It's one of my favorite cities to visit as well. So have yourself a good time in that game and cheer them on to a victory.
He might be swinging by soon.
Let's go.
From what I've heard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Mike G, I saw that. Raiden and Sub-Zero. Those are two of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters. I loved Raiden. I love
Yeah,
Sub-Zero.
Who's the
Sub-Zero's
one
the
that's
man.
like, get over here?
Scorpion.
That was my brother's favorite.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see Sam as more of like a reptile type character, but you know that's just me.
All right. Hey, Freddie Felt says musket fuel. Chuckle Cheese, happy birthday, Sam. Hey,
you.
let's rock. Ed Catella, Sam, your preparation in illustrating the stats in all sports is unlike anything I've ever seen. Happy birthday.
Appreciate it,
I am
man.
glad to see you getting this
Thank
love,
you.
man.
Thank you.
Let me see here. Chuckle Cheese, Feldman Mailbag, Sam. What do you get your wife for your birthday?
It's normally how it works.
Right, those are. I'm gonna continue to just read these off. It's my man's birthday, bro. Happy birthday, Sam. Players, happy birthday. You're getting it, the love, man. Alina, Dennis, Mike G. Hey, everybody's giving you the love. Greg Oswald, Flannel gets 69 more. Wait, what? I gotta screen these. Happy birthday, I guess.
Yeah.
Look at Chris. Shout out, Chris.
Freak ass.
Shout out to Sam Reynolds, KG Kool-Aid, JB Chase, the whole crew. So, hey, you know
Freddie
what?
Felt, my dog.
Yo.
Let's go.
Much love.
Hey, a birthday edition of the Chess Pass. Man, I really want to go hoop. I really want to go. Being at the Motor City Cruise game last night, I know we're gonna break more of this down.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So you getting some experience in that. It was awesome.
It was
man.
fun, man. Shout out to Cruz, man. 2-0.
That's for sure.
2-0.
It's a fun environment to be in.
Yeah.
Fun environment. We're gonna have boots on the ground. Want to see you guys out there. We're gonna get some content
Yeah.
in future Motor City Cruise games and Pistons games and Red Wings games and Lions games.
Ran
Yeah.
into Dwayne Casey and Mr. Trajan Langdon last night.
Head of Pistons PR
Just
was in the
saying.
building too.
Yeah, shout out.
Hey, and shout out to our guy Brody Hickle, Pistons Motor City Cruise PR coordinator too. But let's break this thing down. We got Chris from Sales in the building. I know we got some stuff for Fox 2 to do, right? All right. I'm seeing a look, so we'll do this.
All right, Chris,
before
like,
Neil
hurry
gets
the hell
here.
up,
Chris,
man.
like, come on.
Yeah, I got shit to do. I got shit to do, man. Come on, dog.
Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder. Continue to crush the Woodward main content, and you guys continue to support it and everything else on Woodward Sports. Shout out to that dude, Justin, man. We miss you. We love you. Can't wait to see you for the Lions game. Hey, Cavassier Chase. What up, though, brother?
Hey,
Glad
what
to
up,
have you
though?
part of the WUW Crew.
Hey, happy to be here. Happy birthday to our guy Sam, man. Hope you enjoy 33, not just today, but hope the rest of the year goes well for
Appreciate
you,
it,
my man.
Appreciate it.
For sure, man. And then stay tapped in. We got Big D 11-1, Ermanni Edwards 2-4, and heavyweights kicking us off 5-7 to wrap up the day before you enjoy the rest of your evening with whatever you got going on.
Hey, let's rock. Hey, hit that like button, chat family, if you haven't gotten the opportunity to. Gonna commute it today, but shout out to the elite booth. We got KG in the sound booth, aka Black Hollywood. What
Yes,
up, though,
sir.
brother?
Yes, sir. Hey, fantasy segment tomorrow, y'all. So make sure y'all stay tuned to that. Of course, we're going to break down this Lions and Jaguars game. It's really a bye weekend, in my opinion. But, you know, it is what it is, man. But shout out to the team. Love y'all, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate the support and the love, man. Let's keep this shit rolling.
Hey, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth, JB Smooth. What up, though? And once again, remind people of both your messages on your hat as well as on your shirt. Do the shirt first and then do the hat. That's like one kind of like poetic just encouragement to the people.
I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
Let's go. Let's go.
My message to everyone out there, male or female, you know what? Enjoy life, and you know what? Just go out there. Life is short. Be a slut.
That's a fact.
Assholes live forever. That's just the thing. But shout out to Fleto. Say happy birthday, my guy. Enjoy your day. It's a special day. It's just for you, my dude.
Thank you. I appreciate
chat
that.
family, appreciate everyone in the chat. And you know what? Friday, tomorrow, you know it's gonna be a Freaky Friday, so you gotta stay tapped into us.
And I got one question for you, JB.
What's up?
Who do you hate more, or who do you have more contempt for? The Night Stalker Richard Ramirez or Brooke Lopez?
I hate Brooke Lopez.
You were on some hater.
You're right.
I hate
Yeah, right.
Brooke Lopez so much. I really do.
You know what? Goodness gracious. Pistons, I do believe they're going to get their Red Wings too. It's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network, and save Mr. Flannel for last. Flannel Sam, vet of the squad. Hey, the more things change, the more Flannel Sam has stayed the same.
Oh, yes.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you.
Birthday,
Glad
boy.
to be your brother. Glad that we do this together, man. Glad that you have success in your life.
Thank you.
Flannel Sam.
Thank you. And I get rewarded with this week the second, at least on paper, really fun Thursday night football matchup. We got the Commanders at the Eagles. Should be fun. And could, play a role in the NFC. Will play a role in the NFC standings, but the Lions will make sure that it's no role higher than second.
Take us out for your birthday, brother.
All right. Well, that was a show. That was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I don't believe there's any Detroit sports on tonight, but that is okay. Thank you. Right? Hey,
use one.
Hey, I'll tell you what. With that win that they had against, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank who their last win was against. Oh, the Heat.
Yeah.
Like palpitations in the good way, and last night palpitations in the wrong way, and the Red Wings too, winning in overtime. So I'm glad to get that break. Glad to enjoy my birthday, and you guys have a great day. Even you, Rando Smalls. Even you, Phil.
All right, gotta love the haters
Happy
too, man.
birthday,
We
Sam.
love all the haters.
We love you, chat family.
Well, see you later.